Chapter 217. She blinked her eyes, unable to digest so much information. The toilet paper in her hand suddenly felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Mu Yinfeng was such a noble person. It was probably the first time he used such a wooden stick to wipe his butt. Not to mention that Mu Yinfeng was used to living like a prince for a long time. Even Zhao Yuner, who was very adaptable, was not used to wiping her but with a wooden stick. In the end, she made Mu Yinfeng wait for a long time. Mu Yinfeng had no choice but to use a wooden stick. Otherwise, not to mention the stench in the latrine, his injured foot would not be able to hold on for long. Now that Mu Yinfeng said this to her, he was probably comforting her and did not want her to feel too guilty. Young Master Mu, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to forget, but someone came to my house to cause trouble just now. Zhao Yuner began to explain, stuttering a little. The faint smile on Mu Yinfeng's lips was like a spring breeze, giving people a very fresh and comfortable feeling. It's okay, Miss Yuner. I know, Mu Yinfeng said. His voice was soft with a hint of magnetic hoarseness. It was very pleasant to hear. The latrine was not far from Zhao Yuner's house. Those people's voices were so loud just now, so Mu Yinfeng could roughly hear them. Seeing that those people slowly stopped making noise, Mu Yinfeng's foot really could not hold on anymore. Only then did he find a wooden stick and wipe it. Young Master Mu, do you still want this toilet paper? Zhao Yuner handed the toilet paper over. No, I'll use it next time. Okay, then Miss Yuner, send me back. Oh, okay. Zhao Yuner hurried over and helped Mu Yinfeng. The two of them hugged each other. Perhaps Mu Yinfeng had stayed in the latrine pit for too long. His body also carried the faint smell of the latrine pit. Mu Yinfeng was injured and could not bathe. This smell probably wouldn't go away in a short time. The guilt in Zhao Yuner's heart deepened. It's all her fault. If Jin Hua hadn't come over, Mu Yinfeng wouldn't have to be like this. Zhao Yuner helped Mu Yinfeng back and let him lie on the bed to recuperate. She sat down and quietly began to make clothes for Dao Du. Not long after he sat down, footsteps came from outside the house again. It was Lu Lei. Zhao Yuner was afraid that Lu Lei would rush in and see Mu Yinfeng, so she quickly went out of the house. Lei, Brother Lei Zi, why are you here? Zhao Yuner asked with a smile. Lu Lei frowned, his eyes full of worry. He asked Zhao Yuner with concern. Yuner, I heard that Jin Hua came to cause trouble for you. Are you okay? Why is there no one? She left after playing around. I'm fine now. Brother Lei Zi, sorry for making you worry. When Lu Lei heard Zhao Yuner say this, he sighed in relief. That's good. Yuner, you're not injured, are you? Jin Hua was also very fierce in the village and had fought with many women. Therefore, Lu Lei was afraid that Jin Hua had hurt Zhao Yuner as well. I'm fine. Brother Lei Zi, look at me. Am I not fine? That's good. Yuner, it's good that you're not injured. I just heard about it. They all misunderstood you. Naturally, you're not that kind of person, Lu Lei said. Lu Lei had also heard about the rumors between Zhao Yuner and Lu San. However, when others mentioned it to him, he scolded them. Chapter 218. Even if everyone in the world doubted Zhao Yuner, he would never doubt Zhao Yuner. If he liked someone, he would naturally trust her unconditionally. Seeing that this matter was resolved, Lu Lei breathed a sigh of relief for Zhao Yuner. He didn't like others pointing fingers at Zhao Yuner behind her back. Zhao Yuner pulled a smile from the corner of her mouth. They're just making groundless accusations. They like to listen to hearsay and spread rumors. Since it's fake, there will always be loopholes. There will also be a day when the truth will come out. I didn't do it, so I'm not afraid. Zhao Yuner's eyes were filled with stubbornness. This kind of gaze was exactly what Lu Lei had never seen in the eyes of other women. This kind of Zhao Yuner was even more attractive to him. Yuner, then you're fine. I'll go back first. Is there anything else you need my help with? If there's anything you need my help with, I'll leave after I'm done. Okay? Lu Lei asked. It wasn't good for him to stay at Zhao Yuner's house for too long. Since others could spread the news about Zhao Yuner and Lu San, it was possible that the news about him and Zhao Yuner could also spread. Lu Lei didn't want Zhao Yuner to suffer any rumors about the matter that had just calmed down. It's okay, Brother Lei. There's nothing I need help with. Then I'll go back. And be careful on the road, Zhao Yuner reminded him. Lu Lei looked at Zhao Yuner reluctantly, then turned around and left. Zhao Yuner looked at Lu Lei's back and sighed. She knew that Lu Lei had probably rushed over after hearing about her situation. He didn't stay for long, but he wanted to leave. She didn't urge him to stay at all. Zhao Yuner still had a guilty conscience. She was afraid that Lu Lei would stay for one more second. If he accidentally entered her house and saw Mu Yinfeng, she really couldn't explain it clearly. During this period of time, Mu Yinfeng was also a troublesome matter. It would be best if she took Mu Yinfeng to the toilet when no one was around. Otherwise, he wouldn't know if there would be rumors. As soon as Zhao Yun entered, she saw Mu Yinfeng craning his neck to look outside. Mu, young Master Mu, what's wrong with you? Zhao Yuner asked. It's nothing. I've been lying down for too long. My neck is a little uncomfortable, Mu Yinfeng said, but because he was lying, he didn't have enough confidence. She didn't dare to look at Zhao Yuner. Young Master Mu, why don't I give you a massage? It might be better if you pinch it a little, Zhao Yuner said. Wouldn't that be too much trouble for Miss Yuner? It's okay. As Zhao Yuner spoke, she sat down by the edge of the bed. Her slender fingers rested on Mu Yinfeng's neck and began to massage it. In the past, she often served her parents at home and massaged them from time to time, so her skills were not bad. Zhao Yun didn't think too much about it. When her hand rested on Mu Yinfeng's neck, Mu Yinfeng's body trembled. The contact between their bodies made Mu Yinfeng's mind go blank for a moment. Miss Yuner, Mu Yinfeng called out softly. What's wrong, young Master Mu? Is it uncomfortable for you? Did I use too much strength or too little? Mu Yinfeng was silent for a moment and shook his head. Other than this strange feeling, Mu Yinfeng still felt that Zhao Yuner's massage was very comfortable. Chapter 219. Mu Yinfeng didn't know how he could have such thoughts when facing Zhao Yun. Miss Yin, who were you talking to just now? Mu Yinfeng asked casually. A friend of mine. I think it's a man? Yes. He cares about you very much, Mu Yinfeng murmured. His chest suddenly felt heavy, and he felt very uncomfortable. Zhao Yun didn't understand why Mu Yinfeng suddenly said this. She felt that Mu Yinfeng was a little strange. Zhao Yun didn't want to continue with Lu Lei's question. She probably wouldn't be with Lu Lei, so she naturally didn't want to talk about anything. Most importantly, in front of Mu Yinfeng, Zhao Yun didn't want to talk about other men. Zhao Yun massaged Mu Yinfeng while thinking about things. She didn't hear Mu Yinfeng calling her a few times. Mu Yinfeng thought that something had happened to Zhao Yun. When he turned around, their faces were suddenly very close. They could even feel each other's breath. Zhao Yun's mind went blank for a moment, and she jumped away. Young Master Mu Yinfeng's cheeks were also flushed. I'm sorry, Miss Yin I called you just now. When I saw that you didn't reply, I turned around. It's okay. Zhao Yun forced a smile and replied. I'm going to make clothes for Dao Du. Okay. Zhao Yun moved away and sat down on the chair to make clothes for Dao Du. If she didn't find something to do, it would be very awkward to face Mu Yinfeng like this. Zhao Yun followed Auntie Lu's instructions and began to cut and mend the clothes. It was her first time doing something like this, and Zhao Yun had a poor foundation in needlework, so it was not easy. However, she had plenty of time, so she was not in a hurry. The needle accidentally pierced her finger, and Zhao Yun sucked in a breath of air in pain. Miss Yun, what's wrong? Mu Yinfeng looked at her with concern. I'm fine. I was just accidentally pricked by a needle, Zhao Yun said. Let me see. Mu Yinfeng groped his way out of bed and hopped over to Zhao Yun. He picked up Zhao Yun's hand and looked at it. Mu Yinfeng's actions were so sudden that Zhao Yun couldn't react in time. Her injured hand was in Mu Yinfeng's hand. Looking at Zhao Yun's bleeding finger, Mu Yinfeng put it into his mouth. Zhao Yun was in a daze for a while. When her finger entered Mu Yinfeng's mouth, the pain was not so severe. Instead, she felt very comfortable. However, for someone of Mu Yinfeng's status, to treat a country girl like her like this, wasn't it a bit strange? It was too good. Mu Yinfeng's actions were just subconscious, and he didn't think too much about it. When he saw his aunt cut her finger when she broke something, his uncle also helped his aunt suck the blood. Miss Yinner, it's done. Mu Yinfeng let go of Zhao Yun'er's hand and saw that the blood had stopped. When he looked up, Mu Yinfeng met Zhao Yun'er's surprised eyes. After the two of them looked at each other for a few seconds, the atmosphere seemed a bit ambiguous. Zhao Yun'er hurriedly moved her face away and turned her head away. Thank you. You're welcome. Miss Yinner, be careful. Don't prick yourself again. Mu Yinfeng's eyes flashed with a trace of distress. He reminded Zhao Yun'er and lay back on the bed. Chapter 220. The atmosphere didn't improve until Dowdy came back. The two children carried a wooden bucket in their hands, but there were fewer bullfrogs today. Zhao Yun'er didn't mind. If Lu Shan went to other places to buy bullfrogs in the future, he would definitely be able to get a lot. The ones caught by the children were only a small part of the total. Zhao Yun didn't ask, but Dowdu explained, Mother, we caught fewer bullfrogs today. It's okay. Zhao Yun patted Dowdu's head. Mother, everyone helped us catch bullfrogs today. Dowdu's mother also didn't let him play with me. They all said that their families didn't allow it. Dowdu's mood fell. Children like to be lively and like to play with other children. Previously, the children in the village all distanced themselves from Dowdu. It wasn't easy for them to play with Dowdu because of the bullfrogs. Now that things had changed, Dowdu couldn't help but feel a little sad. Looking at Dowdu's pitiful appearance, Zhao Yun'er comforted him. She guessed that it was probably because Dowdu fell into the mud pit. Qin Hailan didn't say anything when she came over. She was afraid that Dowdu would have an accident again, so she didn't let Dowdu play with Dowdu. She just didn't know if Dowdu said anything about the bullfrogs. As for the other children, Zhao Yun'er guessed that Qin Hailan said something behind their backs, so the other children's parents didn't let their children interact with Dowdu. Sigh, touching Dowdu's little face, Zhao Yun'er felt a little distressed. No matter how good she was to Dowdu, Dowdu was still a child. He liked to play with other children. Okay, Dowdu, don't be sad. Even if they don't catch bullfrogs with you, there's still little uncle to accompany you, right? There's still San Air and the others. Although there are fewer people, it's not to the extent that there won't be anyone left. Don't you agree? When Dowdu is a few years older, Mother will send Dowdu to school. This way, Dowdu can play with many little friends and also learn knowledge. Zhao Yun'er said. Dowdu raised his head and looked at Zhao Yun'er. Mother, what is a school? It's where I go to school. There will be many children around the same age as Dowdu. What are you going to school for? Going to school is to learn knowledge. Yes, just like your eldest uncle. In the future, after you study and pass the exam, you could become successful and bring your mother to live a good life. Yes. Dowdu nodded heavily, especially when he heard Zhao Yun'er say that he could become successful and bring Zhao Yun'er to live a good life. Dowdu was even more determined to study hard when he went to school in the future. At the mention of Dowdu going to school, Zhao Yun'er looked at Zhao Tianfu. Zhao Tianfu was 8 years old and had reached the age of going to school. However, old Zhao's family clearly had no intention of letting Zhao Tianfu go to school. Zhao Tianan was 16 or 17 years old. It was obviously a bit late for him to go to school at this age. However, Zhao Tianfu could. However, in this era, the cost of going to school was very expensive. The average family simply couldn't afford it. In addition, old Zhao's family still had Zhao Tianlong who was studying, so the annual expenses were not small. If Zhao Tianfu wanted to go to school, the children of the other branches of old Zhao's family would definitely clamor to go to school as well. The third branch wasn't liked in old Zhao's family to begin with. It seemed a bit difficult, but Zhao Yun'er still wanted to fight for Zhao Tianfu. Chapter 221. She didn't ask for the money, but that didn't mean she would let it go. The original owner's life was like this, and old Zhao's family had to account for it. Tianfu, do you want to study? Zhao Yun'er asked. Before talking about this, it was best to ask Zhao Tianfu for his thoughts. Zhao Tianfu had to be willing to study. Although Zhao Tianfu was young, he knew the benefits of studying. Studying could make him successful, and he could lead his family to live a good life. They wouldn't be bullied, so he naturally wanted to study. Second sister, studying is too expensive. I miss Grandpa, but he won't let me study. Zhao Tianfu said. Zhao Yun saw that Zhao Tianfu wanted to study, so it was easy. He knew that studying was hard, and when he went to school in the future, he would not study hard. It's okay. Leave this to me. Second sister will talk to father and grandpa. They will probably let you study then. Zhao Tianfu's eyes lit up, and he looked forward to it. Second sister, is that true? Of course it's true. Then second sister, can brother Tian'an still study? Zhao Tianfu looked up and asked. Your brother Tian'an probably can't. He's almost at the age of marrying a wife. But when you learn more, you can read. You can teach your brother Tian'an how to read. Even if he wasn't very educated, he wouldn't be illiterate if he could read. Whether it was ancient or modern, it was much more convenient to read. People in ancient times were poor, so there weren't many who could study. That was why there were so many illiterates. Okay, second sister. I will teach brother Tian'an everything I know in the future. Okay, dinner was heated up, and Zhao Yun added a plate of vegetables. It wasn't bad. After dinner, Zhao Yun sent Zhao Tianfu back. At the same time, they discussed the matter of Zhao Tianfu going to school. Old Zhao's family was eating dinner in the courtyard. Everyone gathered around a table. The table wasn't big, so basically only the adults were sitting. The children were standing at the side with bowls, where they picked up their own food and sat on a stool at the side to eat. After Zhao Wan Sheng left, the food in old Zhao's house returned to being bland. The man who had been working hard all day was still able to eat. After all, no matter how disgusting it was, they still had to eat it. If they didn't eat it, they would be starving. Zhao Yun'er is here again. Li Chuiying shouted as soon as he saw Zhao Yun'er. Old Zhao's family members all looked at Zhao Yun. Now, in order to prevent Zhao Yun'er from coming back, old Zhao's family had sent Zhao Yun'er away. As soon as Hu Chunhua heard that Zhao Yun'er was here, her face immediately turned green. He thought to himself, how could this little B*TCH have the nerve to come here? Don't you have any shame? As soon as Zhao Yun'er arrived at the yard, Hu Chunhua scolded her angrily. We've already separated you. What are you doing here? Hurry up and get out of here. Hu Chunhua's eyes revealed undisguised disgust. She couldn't wait for Zhao Yun'er to disappear in front of her immediately. The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth raised into a smile as she replied, Grandma, you can't say that. Although I've separated from my family, my parents haven't. They're also part of old Zhao's family, so they have a share of this house. I'm not here to look for you. I'm here to look for my parents. Can't I even see my parents? Chapter 222. Since ancient times, other than parents who did not acknowledge their daughters, there was no other reason why parents would not allow their daughters to return home. When Zhao Yun'er said this, Hu Chunhua was so angry that her face turned green. She knew that Zhao Yun'er, this wretched girl, was not so easy to get rid of. Even if they had separated, she would still come over to make trouble. This little B*TCH, why did she have so many ideas? Hu Chunhua was about to say something, but Zhao Baoshan said, That's enough, old woman. If Yun'er wants to come back, so be it. We're family. Why are you treating her like an outsider? Old man, why are you siding with that wretched girl? Hu Chunhua was a little confused. Old Zhao had so many girls, but he did not treat the other granddaughters well. Why did he treat Zhao Yun'er so differently? You're too petty. Yun is not in your way. Why don't you let her come back? I get annoyed when I see her. This B*TCH who disgraces our old Zhao family should get lost far away, so as not to ruin our reputation. Zhao Yun was a little speechless. Wasn't Hu Chunhua's hatred for her too much? In the 21st century, she had never seen a grandmother treat her own granddaughter like this. All right. Don't talk about this nonsense. Yun must have something to do with old Third and the others. Since she has something to do, why are you stopping her? You're so petty over such a small matter. Don't spread word that you're too petty. Zhao Baoshan nagged. Who's petty? Hu Chunhua muttered, but she was really a little afraid that others would say that she was petty. After all, the villagers liked to scold stingy and petty people. Basically, It was easier for generous and simple families to find a wife and marry off their daughters. Seeing that Hua Chunhua was silent, Zhao Yun curled her lips. Even so, she would not be grateful to Zhao Baoshan for speaking up for her. If it weren't for him, she wouldn't have been hated by old Zhao's family. Zhao Yun walked up to Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Father, mother, let's talk inside." "All right." Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua nodded, although they didn't know what Zhao Yun wanted to do. When they arrived at the third branch's house, Zhao Yun told Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua about sending Zhao Tianfu to school. "Yun'er, although your father and I also want to study for Tianfu, the school fees are still too expensive." "I won't do it," Liang Jinxiao sighed. Zhao Wenhua didn't say anything. He lowered his head and didn't say anything. "Mother, if we don't talk about it, how will grandfather agree?" "Sigh, Yun'er, you don't know. Today's harvest wasn't good. It's not easy to eat every day, let alone send Tianfu to school. Besides, your eldest cousin brother is still studying. It's not easy for old Zhao's family to support him every year. If we send Tianfu to school, our lives will probably be even tighter." Liang Jinxiao was also very helpless. It wasn't that she didn't know about old Zhao's family situation. Based on her understanding, even if she said it, it would be useless. Instead, it might provoke Hua Chunhua's curses. Zhao Yun'er understood Hua Chunhua's meaning. They just didn't have money. If they had money, everything would be solved. "Mother, if you don't want to say it, I'll say it. I'll tell grandfather," Zhao Yun'er said. Chapter 223. Zhao Yun did not like Liang Jinxiao's dilly-dallying personality. If he had too many concerns, he would be afraid of doing anything. Although he said that he wanted to study for Zhao Tianfu, he did not do much. Just as Zhao Yun was about to say something, Zhao Wenhua interrupted. "Yun'er, our family is poor. If your grandfather really agrees to let Tianfu study, won't your second aunt and the others also work hard? Tianyu is almost at the age of going to school, right?" Zhao Yun glanced at Zhao Wenhua. If it was someone else who said this, it would be fine. However, when it came from Zhao Wenhua's mouth, Zhao Yun felt that it was a little ironic. "Father, what you said is wrong. Why does anyone work hard for eldest cousin studies? Can't I study for whomever I want? Don't say that we don't have money. The 200 taels of silver that you sold me back then shouldn't have been spent so quickly in just 3 years, right?" Zhao Yun's tone carried a hint of blame. She said it out loud because she wanted Zhao Wenhua to be clear about it. She wanted to know if Zhao Wenhua's conscience hurt when she did this back then. After Zhao Yun said this, Zhao Wenhua was obviously stunned. She looked at Zhao Yun in surprise and did not understand how Zhao Yun knew. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun in confusion and then looked at Zhao Wenhua. "Yun'er, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by selling you for 200 taels of silver?" Zhao Yun pursed her lips. It was better not to tell Liang Jinxiao the truth. "Mother, it's nothing." Zhao Wenhua sighed and did not dare to look Liang Jinxiao in the eye. When she faced Zhao Yun, she felt even more guilty and guilty. Of course, Liang Jinxiao didn't believe it. However, seeing that Zhao Yun and Zhao Wenhua didn't intend to say anything, it was difficult for her to ask. "There's still money, but it's all with your grandfather," Zhao Tianhua whispered. "Then I'll go and tell master." Zhao Yun stood up. She didn't want to be long-winded with Zhao Wenhua. According to them, it was probably not appropriate to ask Zhao Baoshan. Since that was the case, it would be fine for her to go and tell him. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua looked at each other and had no choice but to let Zhao Yun go. Zhao Yun went out of the third room and found Zhao Baoshan. Naturally, Zhao Tianfu wouldn't talk about his studies in front of the whole family. Instead, he would talk to Zhao Baoshan alone. Otherwise, who knew what would happen if the people in the other branches heard it? Zhao Yun didn't beat around the bush and directly said it. After Zhao Baoshan finished listening, he was silent for a moment. There was still some money left after selling Zhao Yun's 200 taels. Zhao Baoshan didn't tell Hua Chunhua about this money. Instead, he held it in his hands. If there was any urgent need in the future, he could take out the money himself. Yeah, all right then. Yinner, I'll discuss this matter with your grandmother. Otherwise, your grandmother will make a fuss. Zhao Baoshan said in a deep voice. It wasn't that Zhao Baoshan didn't agree. It was just that sending Zhao Tianfu to school would probably use the family's money. The 200 taels from selling her would still be in Zhao Baoshan's hands. No matter how Zhao Baoshan did it, it was fine as long as Zhao Tianfu could study. Zhao Yunan naturally wouldn't ask for so much. All right, master, then it's settled. If there's a chance in a few days, I'll help Tianfu enroll. Chapter 224. This was also one of the reasons why Zhao Baoshan agreed so quickly. Originally, they spent 3 to 4 taels of silver a year. Now, it was reduced by half to 1 or 2 taels. No matter how frugal the family was, they could still save. Back then, when they supported Zhao Tiansheng and Zhao Tianlong at the same time, they could afford the tuition fees for both of them. Of course, this was under the condition that there were no accidents. Back then, there was a drought, and the grain harvest was too poor. Zhao Tianlong could not afford the tuition fees, so he sold Zhao Yun for 200 taels. All right, master, then I'll take my leave. Zhao Yun said goodbye. She did not want to stay at old Zhao's house for too long. Before leaving, Zhao Yun said something to Zhao Wensheng and Liang Jinxiao. Father, mother, master agreed. In a few days, we can bring Tianfu to school. Your master agreed? Liang Jinxiao was a little surprised. Zhao Yun did not spend much time talking. How could she convince Zhao Baoshan so quickly? Zhao Baoshan was not so easy to talk to. Yes, Zhao Yun responded. She greeted Zhao Tianfu and patted his head. Tianfu, are you happy? I'm happy. Second sister, thank you. Zhao Tianfu also knew that this opportunity was fought for by Zhao Yun. You're welcome. Just study hard in the future. Don't let second sister down. Second sister, don't worry. I'll definitely work hard. That's good. Second sister will leave now. Yes. Zhao Yun said goodbye to Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua and left old Zhao's house. As for what would happen if old Zhao's family decided to let Zhao Baoshan study for Zhao Tianfu, she did not care. As long as Zhao Baoshan did not regret it in the end. Zhao Yun returned home and opened the door. The candles were already lit inside. Mu Yinfeng was not lying on the ground, but sitting on a stool. Together with Daodu, one big and one small figure lay in front of the table. Zhao Yun couldn't help but be curious. What were these two people doing? However, under the candlelight, the two voices sounded particularly warm. Hearing the sound of Zhao Yun pushing the door open, the two of them turned their heads and looked at Zhao Yun. The reactions of the adult and the child were very similar. They really looked like father and son. When Zhao Yun saw it, she was slightly stunned. The thoughts in his mind were too nonsensical. Mother, you're back? Daodu smiled sweetly at Zhao Yun, looking very happy. Miss Yun, Mu Yinfeng also looked at Zhao Yun. In the candlelight, Mu Yinfeng's face looked even more handsome, angular, and a pair of phoenix eyes with a charming charm. He was simply a demon. Zhao Yun quickly moved her gaze away, not looking at Mu Yinfeng's face. Otherwise, she was really afraid that she would be immersed in it. With a faint smile on her lips, Zhao Yun asked Daodu softly, "What are you doing?" Daodu raised his cute little face and said to Zhao Yun, "Mother, Uncle Feng is teaching Daodu how to read." Read? Zhao Yun was surprised for a moment. She looked deeply at Mu Yinfeng. Mu Yinfeng faced her, still with a smile on his face. Yes, Uncle Feng said that although Daodu is still young and can't go to school, Uncle Feng can teach Daodu to read at home. Daodu explained in a childish voice. Chapter 225. And Mu Yinfeng was willing to teach him. Zhao Yun had an indescribable feeling in her heart. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that Mu Yinfeng played an indispensable role in front of Daodu. In the end, the child still needed a father, so that he could have a complete family. Then what did your Uncle Feng teach you? Mother, Uncle Feng taught Daodu how to write his name. Speaking of this, Daodu was a little excited to show off to Zhao Yun. Then Daodu knows how to write? Daodu nodded heavily, then walked in front of Zhao Yun, pulled her hand, and said, "Mother, come here. Dowdu will write for you." Okay. Zhao Yun had a faint smile on her face. She watched as Dowdu dipped his little finger in the water in the cup, then wrote Zhao Dowdu on the table. Although Dowdu's handwriting was not very good, it was neat and legible, so it was not bad. After all, Dowdu was only 3 years old. In the 21st century, most people would probably play with toys at home, and only a few would start learning to read. This method of writing on the table with water was probably Mu Lianfeng's idea. They did not have a pen and paper at home, so they could only make do like this. After dipping his finger in water and writing on the table, the water did not dry up so quickly, so the words could be seen very clearly. This method of writing was practical and economical. In this era, the price of paper was still relatively expensive, and the average person would find it difficult to afford. Therefore, the scholars of this era, in addition to their school fees, also spent a lot of money on ink, paper, and inkstone. "Mother, did you see it? How is Dowdu's writing?" Zhao Yun nodded and praised, "Dowdu is great." Dowdu smiled shyly and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Uncle Feng, do you think Dowdu is right?" "Yes, Dowdu is very smart." Mu Lianfeng patted Dowdu's head and praised him. Dowdu's smile widened. Seeing the smile on Dowdu's face, Zhao Yun fell into deep thought. Zhao Yun realized that Dowdu was very happy when he was with Mu Lianfeng. This kind of happiness was different from when he was with her. Perhaps it was Dowdu's special feelings for Mu Lianfeng. No wonder Dowdu recognized Mu Lianfeng as his father. "Uncle Feng, can you teach Dowdu how to read again?" Dowdu asked in a soft voice. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun, as if asking for Zhao Yun's permission. "Dowdu, you can't eat a mouthful and become fat. Your Uncle Feng taught you how to write a name today. That's enough. Go back and practice well, and let your Uncle Feng teach you again tomorrow. Mother will buy you some books, paper, and pen tomorrow. What do you think?" Zhao Yun was afraid that Dowdu would delay Mu Lianfeng's rest. The sky was dark, and it was time to sleep. Moreover, learning was something that accumulated over a long period of time. Dowdu was so enthusiastic at the beginning. If he overdid it, he might lose interest later on. Dowdu thought for a moment and nodded obediently. "Okay, Mother, then Dowdu will let Uncle Feng teach him again tomorrow." "Dowdu is good." Zhao Yun smiled. "Mother, does Dowdu want to take a bath tonight? My body is a little itchy." "Of course you can. Wait for Mother. Mother will boil some water for you." "Okay." Dowdu smiled sweetly. Chapter 226. Dowdu's head rested on Mu Lianfeng's uninjured arm. Dowdu's small body was like a doll in Mu Lianfeng's arms. "Dowdu, come and take a bath." Zhao Yun beckoned. Dowdu reluctantly got up from Mu Lianfeng's arms. "Mother, when can Dowdu bathe by himself?" Dowdu asked. Zhao Yun was amused by Dowdu's mischievous look. "You're only 3 years old. You'll have to wait until you're 6 at the very least." "Oh, Mother, then will Dowdu be a man when he's 6? Dowdu's soft voice asked. "Yes, you can say that. When the time comes, Dowdu will be able to do a lot of things by himself." "Yes, yes." Dowdu nodded heavily. "Then Dowdu will eat more in the future. When he grows up, he'll become a man sooner." The smile on Zhao Yun's lips became thicker. This child is really a bit cute. Age and food intake were not directly proportional. Time was something that no one could control. However, Dowdu was still a little too skinny. He had put on some weight recently, but he still had to continue. Children who were malnourished when they were young were still quite affected. "Take your time. There's no rush." "No, Mother. When Dowdu grows up and becomes a man, he'll be able to protect Mother. Uncle Feng said that if he's a man, he'll have to protect the people he loves." Zhao Yun was stunned. She looked at Mu Lianfeng. "This guy, what did he say to Dowdu?" "Mother, Dowdu will protect you well in the future. I won't let you be bullied." Dowdu vowed. "Okay, then I'll wait for Dowdu to grow up and protect Mother." Okay. Zhao Yun bathed Dowdu with warm water and wanted to take a bath herself. In the 21st century, she bathed every day. After all, there was a water heater, so bathing was very convenient. Although he couldn't bathe every day here, he could still occasionally wipe his body with hot water. Now, that Mu Lianfeng was in her house. She couldn't even wipe her body casually. After all, Mu Lianfeng was a man. She only had one room in her house, so she couldn't go anywhere else. She couldn't possibly take a bath and wipe her body in front of Mu Lianfeng, right? Zhao Yun'er felt a little helpless. She endured the discomfort in her body and could only give up. What troubled Zhao Yun'er was how to sleep at night. Previously, Mu Lianfeng was still in a coma. But now, he was no longer in a coma. It was extremely awkward for them to sleep together. Miss Yun'er, why are you sitting on the stool? Aren't you going to rest in bed? It's already very late. You've been tired all day. You must be sleepy, right? Mu Lianfeng greeted Zhao Yun'er with concern in his eyes. That, young Master Mu, don't worry about me. You go to sleep first. Zhao Yun'er pulled a smile from the corner of her mouth. She would wait for Mu Lianfeng to fall asleep and then climb up to sleep. That way, it wouldn't be awkward. But Miss Yun'er, why are you sitting on the stool? If you can't sleep, why don't I chat with you? Mu Lianfeng asked with concern. The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched slightly. Chat? What could they chat about? Moreover, she was waiting for Mu Lianfeng to fall asleep. If they chatted, would they have to wait until late at night? Chapter 227. As she spoke, Zhao Yun'er had already taken out the clothes. Under the candlelight, she began to sew. Mu Lianfeng leaned on the bed. Although he responded, he still stared at Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head to sew down his clothes. She did not notice that a burning gaze had been falling on her. Under the candlelight, Zhao Yun'er's small face was even more exquisite. A strand of long hair fell on her forehead, which made her look even more charming. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes, the way Zhao Yun'er sewed the clothes seriously was particularly charming. This woman was not a beauty that could cause the downfall of a country, but people could not help but be attracted to her. Mu Lianfeng felt that he was possessed. Why did he have feelings for such a woman? Obviously, he was not very interested in women. After some time, Zhao Yun'er felt that the room had been quiet for a while. She thought that Mu Lianfeng had fallen asleep. But when she looked up, she met Mu Lianfeng's eyes. He looked very energetic. Zhao Yun'er could not describe her feelings for a moment. Why was he not asleep yet? Then wouldn't she have waited for so long in vain? Young Master Mu, you haven't slept yet? Zhao Yun'er twitched the corner of her mouth and asked. I'm not sleepy yet. I'm waiting for Miss Yun'er to sleep with you. Didn't she say that she didn't want him to wait? Zhao Yun'er gave up the idea of waiting for Mu Lianfeng to fall asleep before going to sleep. Forget it. She still had to bite the bullet and squeeze into the same bed as Mu Lianfeng to sleep. Then let's sleep together. Zhao Yun'er said. Okay. At night, Zhao Yun'er slept in the corner of the bed with Daodu as before. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng did not say anything. Perhaps because she was too sleepy, Zhao Yun'er quickly fell asleep without the awkwardness she had imagined. The next day, when she woke up, Zhao Yun'er rubbed her sleepy eyes. She was actually lying in Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng's uninjured hand rested on her back. The two of them were in an unusually intimate position. Zhao Yun'er blinked and pinched her own hand. Was she dreaming? The pain in her hand made her realize that she wasn't dreaming. It was reality. Zhao Yun'er immediately bounced away. He touched the clothes on his body to make sure that he was wearing them properly and that nothing had happened. Zhao Yun'er's movements were a little big, so much so that it woke up Mu Lianfeng from his sleep. As soon as Mu Lianfeng opened his eyes, he met Zhao Yun'er's panicked eyes. Miss Yun'er, what's wrong? Mu Lianfeng asked. How did I sleep in your arms? Zhao Yun'er asked, her voice a little low. Mu Lianfeng's mind went blank for a moment. He was wondering why a soft thing had burrowed into his arms at night, and he had smelled a woman's fragrance at the tip of his nose. He naturally did not know how Zhao Yun'er inexplicably fell asleep in his arms, but he was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would misunderstand him. So he quickly explained, Miss Yun'er, I didn't do anything to you. I don't know. Did that mean that she fell asleep at night and unknowingly pounced on him? Zhao Yun'er was so embarrassed that she could not speak. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was silent, Mu Lianfeng thought that Zhao Yun'er did not believe him, and said, Miss Yun'er, I didn't lie to you. Chapter 228. She was the one who felt embarrassed. After all, she was the one who ran into Mu Lianfeng's arms. Speaking of which, she had taken advantage of him. Because of her embarrassment, Zhao Yun hurriedly got up and hurriedly got out of bed. After washing up, she carried the basket on her back and went out. When she went to Yang City today, she bumped into Mulan again. After a few days of hard work, she made a new batch of things in bamboo baskets and wicker baskets. Mulan was also very happy to see Zhao Yun'er. Yun'er, why are you going to Yang City too? If you knew, I would have told you yesterday. Yes, I didn't expect sister-in-law Mulan to be going too. Are you going to sell these things today? Yes, I'll try. I can learn from you last time. Maybe I can sell some of them too, Mulan said with a smile. If she could earn more, she would earn more. No matter how much money she earned, it was still money. It was best to subsidize the family. The old family Zhu's population was gradually increasing, and the burden was gradually increasing. Although she was not sure if she could sell as well as when Zhao Yun helped her last time, she had to give it a try. She still remembered what Zhao Yun said when she was selling the baskets. She could imitate her. Okay, when I'm done with my work, I'll go and help you, Zhao Yun said with a smile. She was happy for Mulan when she saw that she could earn money by herself and run a small business. Sometimes, women had to rely on themselves. Only when they were capable would they not be looked down upon. Like Mulan, who can rely on her own hands to support herself and live a comfortable life, old Madame Zhu will probably treat her a lot better. Among the daughters-in-law of the family Zhu, Mulan was not well liked because her family was poor. When she first married into the family, she did not have much dowry. On the other hand, Mulan's sister-in-law's family was quite well off. She brought 12 or 20 taels of dowry with her. That was why Mrs. Zhu treated Mulan's sister-in-law well. The family Zhu was not separated from the family, but the dowry from his wife could be kept by himself and didn't need to be handed over. Yun'er, you're so nice. It's nothing. You're welcome. By the way, Yun'er, why did you go out again today? Selling things, Zhao Yun replied vaguely. Mulan didn't continue to ask, but the other women in the carriage had other thoughts. Every time, he didn't see Zhao Yun setting up a stall. What was she selling? He was always so mysterious. Could it be that he sold something to earn money? A woman casually asked, Yun'er, what are you selling? I've been seeing you every day for the past few days. Business is pretty good. It's nothing, Zhao Yun replied indifferently. Yun'er, don't lie to us. How can it be nothing? Tell us. We won't steal your business. We're just curious. It's really nothing. Stingy. If you don't want to tell us, then don't tell us. You're treating us like fools. Zhao Yun really felt a little speechless. Damn it. So what if she didn't tell them? These women looked so eager. They obviously thought that she might have earned money and wanted to learn from her. Naturally, she wasn't that stupid. No matter how these women ridiculed and fooled her, Zhao Yun didn't respond. They could say whatever they wanted. No matter how they scolded her, it wasn't true. The money had really fallen into her pocket. Just as the carriage was about to set off, Qin Hailon came over. After getting into the carriage, she glanced at Zhao Yun and didn't continue to speak. Chapter 229. If it was in the past, Qin Hailon would probably find her an eyesore and make a fuss with her. Zhao Yun didn't think too much. It was best not to talk. It was better than Qin Hailon nagging in her ear. The woman, who thought she could watch the show, couldn't help but feel a little disappointed when the two of them didn't talk much. After an hour, the ox cart finally arrived at Yang City. Now that the weather was getting warmer, there were more and more people on the streets. The bustling scene of people coming and going in Yang City was not worse than the 21st century. Zhao Yun carried the basket and went to the restaurant. A total of 15 caddies of bullfrog was paid for 300 copper coins. The bullfrog in Sun Zhangquan's restaurant had become the main dish. So many customers ordered it every day. It was just that Zhao Yun sent 2 little bullfrog every day, and there were many people who ordered it. So there was a shortage of supply. Sun Zhangquan had no choice. He didn't have a channel to buy the bullfrog sent by Zhao Yun from other places. He didn't even know what this thing was. He could only sell as much as Zhao Yun, a cent over every day. Many customers came but couldn't eat it, so it was inevitable that they would be anxious. After coming so many times and not eating, they couldn't be bothered to come over. If Zhao Yun could supply more, the restaurant's business would definitely be better. Sun Zhongquan remembered that Zhao Yun used to say that this thing was rare and not much, so it would probably be difficult to get a large amount. So he didn't mention it to Zhao Yun. After Zhao Yun sent it over, she came out of the restaurant. Not long after Zhao Yun turned and left, another figure walked out from the other end of the alley. Qin Hailon looked at Zhao Yun's back as she left, and the corners of her mouth curled up into a smug smile. This little bitch, so she sent the things here. It's good that she found the delivery place. I'll deliver it tomorrow, too. I'll make a fortune then. The smile on Qin Hailon's face disappeared. She turned around the alley happily and went back. Of course, Zhao Yun did not notice any of this. Zhao Yun went to the market and bought the things she needed. She then went to Mulan's place. This time, when he came to town, he bought another caddy of pork and half a caddy of pig liver for Mu Linfeng to nourish his body. The brushes, ink, and paper he bought for Daodu and Zhao Tianfu were the most expensive. One was the 3-character classic, one was the 100 family surnames, and one was the 1,000-character classic, which cost a total of 60 copper coins. Pen and paper cost a total of 180 copper coins. Zhao Yun had already bought the cheapest one, but it was still so expensive. The expenses in the future would only get bigger and bigger. She wanted to think of another way to see if she could start another side business. No one would ever complain about earning too much money. If he saved up more money now, he would be able to afford Daodu's education in the future. When they arrived at Mulan's place, Mulan was much better this time. At least she had learned how to shout and was not as bashful as before. After such a long time, she sold 3 wicker baskets and earned a total of 21 copper coins. Sister-in-law Mulan, you're selling well, Zhao Yun said with a smile. Mulan was naturally very happy that she had sold so many baskets by herself. There was an excited smile on her face. Yes, I didn't expect that I could sell so many baskets by myself. Take it slow. It will get better and better. Yes, yes. Zhao Yun walked over and helped Mulan to shout. Chapter 230. She earned a total of 162 copper coins, which was a huge sum of money in ancient times. Mulan held the money in her hands and could not believe it. She had earned so much money in such a short period of time. Wasn't it too much? Her family only earned 1 or 2 taels of silver after a year of hard work from farming and selling grain. Looking at Mulan's stunned and incredulous expression, Zhao Yun could not help but want to laugh. In fact, whether it was in ancient times or modern times, one could not earn much money by guarding 1 mu of land. The most profitable thing was still business. Doing business was the fastest way to earn money. Unfortunately, the merchants in ancient times were not like the merchants in the 21st century. The status of the merchants in ancient times was very low. In order to fix the peasants on the land, the ruling class basically limited the development of business in order to stabilize the country. Therefore, the status of the merchants was lower than that of the peasants. Because of this restriction, there were very few people who did business in the whole country. Sister-in-law Mulan, in fact, this is not a lot. If you work hard, you can find other businesses to do and earn much more money than this. Really? I didn't know that selling things could make so much money before. Of course it's true, but it also has to do with everyone's ability. Some people can make money, while others can't. Mulan nodded and felt that Zhao Yun was right. If it were not for Zhao Yun's method, she would not have been able to sell it. Last time, she could not sell one for half a day by herself. In the end, if it were not for Zhao Yun's help, she would probably have lost money. Sister-in-law Mulan, quickly put the money in your pocket. Don't let others remember it. Zhao Yun reminded her. There were many thieves on the street. It was the principle of not showing off one's wealth. Okay. Mulan heard Zhao Yun's words and quickly put the money away. There was still some time, so Mulan went to buy a caddy of pork. Seeing that Mulan was doing well, The woman who came with her asked with envy, Mulan girl, your business is doing well? Are they all sold out? Yeah, I'm pretty lucky today. TSK, TSK, TSK. You must have made a lot of money, right? It's all right, it's not a lot. Sigh, I haven't even sold half of my vegetables. Mulan, how do you make those things? Teach Annie when you get back. It wasn't that Mulan didn't want to teach, but after she taught, people would also come to the streets to sell this thing. Her business would definitely be affected. She still wanted to earn more money. Zhao Yun'er tugged at Mulan's sleeve. Actually, there was no need to pay attention to this kind of person. She only knew how to think about other people's things, and even said it so matter-of-factly. The ability to earn money wasn't something that could be taught. Auntie, I'm going to buy some things first. If there's anything, we can talk about it next time. Mulan forced a smile and said goodbye to the woman. What kind of person is this? Didn't you just make some money? Let's see if your business is always so good. The woman muttered. Mulan bought a caddy of meat, but she was still a little reluctant. She turned to ask Zhao Yun'er. Yun'er, have you bought the things? Do you want to weigh some meat back? I bought it. I also bought the meat. I spent a lot of money today. What did you buy? Zhao Yun'er put down the basket and passed the books, brushes, and ink to Mulan. Chapter 231. I'll take Daodu to school when he's 6 years old. I'll teach Daodu some things in advance. Mulan nodded. Yun'er, you can read? Zhao Yun'er was stunned by Mulan's question, but she understood that Mulan probably thought that she was teaching Daodu how to read. Zhao Yun'er would never tell her that she had another man in her family, a capable and knowledgeable heir. She smiled awkwardly and nodded. Yes, I learned a little from my fifth uncle in the past. That was the only explanation she could come up with. Otherwise, how could a country girl who had never studied be able to read? I see. That's true. Yun'er, your fifth uncle is a scholar. He's very knowledgeable. If he can pass the provincial examination, your old Zhao family will be rich. Zhao Yun'er laughed. Whether old Zhao's family was rich or not had nothing to do with her. Yun'er, you're amazing too. There aren't many women in the village who can read. Mulan looked at Zhao Yun enviously. Basically, only rich families would allow their daughters to study. Of course, that was very rare. That's nothing. I can only read a few words. I don't know anything else. Mulan, on the other hand, is afraid that sister-in-law, you're clever with your hands. The two of them complimented each other. Zhao Yun thought of Zhu San-er. He was about 5 or 6 years old and should be able to go to school. She asked Mulan for her opinion. Sister-in-law Mulan, are you going to send your third son to school? Mulan sighed. Of course I want to, but my family Zhu isn't a rich family. Besides third son, there are 2 other boys at home. My parents can't possibly say that they're only going to send third son to school, right? Moreover, the tuition fee for a year is too high. I don't think third son can afford it. Mulan seemed a little helpless. It wasn't that she didn't want to send third son to school. It would cost a lot of money, and she had to consider the actual situation. Zhao Yun thought for a moment. Sister-in-law Mulan, if you can earn so much money every day in the future, you will definitely save enough for San-er to spend in a year. If you have enough money, can you send him to school? Mulan was silent for a moment and shook her head. I probably can't. Even if I earn money, I have too much money. And my mother probably won't let him study. There are many children at home, so the expenses are high. Aren't most of the children in the village not educated? Sister-in-law, Mulan, if that's the case, then you can't live's family. Wouldn't it be too much of a loss for you to spend the money you've earned with the whole family? What was the reason for doing business? Wasn't to make your life better? Even the money you earned couldn't be spent on the things you wanted. It was better not to earn such money. Speaking of this, Mulan was even sadder. In the past few years, the third branch wasn't favored. Mrs. Zhu didn't like her, so she had to do a lot of housework alone. Compared to her, the other 2 family Zhu's daughters-in-law were much more comfortable. If she could live with them, she also wanted to live with them. At least if they lived separately, she wouldn't have to take care of the whole family, but her own branch. That would definitely be much more relaxed. Her mother-in-law had a sharp tongue. She liked to scold people when they didn't do anything well. Chapter 232. There were still 3 children at home, so the whole family could barely survive. If they split up and didn't get anything, they wouldn't be able to survive. Forget it. We'll talk about this later, Mulan said helplessly. Zhao Yun couldn't say anything. Since Mulan didn't want to, she couldn't force them to split up. If Mrs. Zhu found out, wouldn't she run to her door and scold her? The two of them returned to old Father Hu's ox cart. Every day, they had to spend Lu Wen's money to go back and forth on old Father Hu's ox cart. Moreover, they had to wake up early in the morning. If she sent bullfrogs over a long period of time, especially when Aunt Lu's family would help her buy bullfrogs in a few days, the amount of bullfrogs she sent would be much larger. If he were to take the bullock cart again, the goods he was selling would be exposed one day. Zhao Yun wondered if she should buy a mode of transportation. The price of this ox was too high. She definitely couldn't afford it. If she bought a horse, the price of a horse would be more expensive. Mules and donkeys in this era were slightly cheaper, especially donkeys. A donkey wasn't very heavy. 100 to 200 caddies was enough for her. She wasn't in a hurry to go to Yang City every day, so there was no need to buy a horse that could run especially fast. According to the price of this era, a donkey was about 2 taels of silver. 2 taels of silver wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a little either. Zhao Yun didn't have the ability to buy one now. The money she had saved up was only a few hundred copper coins. However, when the time came, Aunt Lu's son would help her buy more bullfrogs. The more bullfrogs they caught, the more money they could make from selling them. When the time came, she should be able to save up 2 taels of silver. After buying a donkey, not only could she use it to send bullfrogs every day, but she could also lend it to Aunt Lu's family. It would be more convenient to go to other villages to collect goods. In addition, she and Mulan might be able to find some small businesses to do. With a donkey, I didn't need to take the ox cart. It would be more convenient to sell things on the streets. Old Father Hu's ox cart jolted and finally returned to the village. Once Zhao Yun returned, she put down the things she bought and took out the books, paper, and pen and gave them to Daodu and Zhao Tianfu. Both of them looked very happy. He held these things lovingly in his hands. Seeing the 2 children so happy, Zhao Yun was satisfied. What she wanted to see the most was the 2 children being happy. Daodu, you and little uncle take the books and let your Uncle Feng teach you. Niang Qin is going to cook now. Zhao Yun said. All right. The 2 children happily carried the books into the room and went straight to Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun went into the kitchen to prepare lunch. When there was meat, the food was very sumptuous. In addition, Zhao Yun had many ways to cook the meat. No matter which dish it was very appetizing. At noon, they ate to their heart's content. For Mu Lianfeng, he liked the home-cooked dishes made by Zhao Yun more than the dishes made by the Crown Prince residents. After a few days of peaceful and warm life, Mu Lianfeng found that he didn't want to go back to the Crown Prince residence. The injuries on his body should be healed slowly. This way, he could stay with Zhao Yun for a few more days. After lunch, Zhao Yun took care of the vegetable garden again. The seeds that were planted began to sprout. The fastest growing ones were the cabbages. She estimated that they would be able to eat them in 10 days to half a month. After busying herself with the vegetable garden, Zhao Yun carried the basket on her back and had to go up the mountain. Chapter 233. She originally needed to change Mu Lianfeng's dressing today, but it hadn't been done yet. She would wait for the herbs to be picked before changing Mu Lianfeng's dressing. Seeing that Zhao Yun was about to leave, Daodu hurriedly put down the book in his hand and ran to Zhao Yun. He asked in a childish voice, "Mother, where are you going?" "I'm going to the mountain to pick herbs for your Uncle Feng." Oh. Then Mother, Daodu will go with you." Daodu said. The mountain was dangerous. Daodu was afraid that something would happen to Zhao Yun if she went alone. It was always good for him to accompany her. "Second sister, me too," Zhao Tianfu also said. They were all going together. There was no reason for him not to go alone. "Okay, then let's go together." Zhao Yun went a few times and really didn't encounter any danger. Perhaps the people in the village were exaggerating too much, or perhaps they had heard the rumors from the past and believed it. They were convinced that there was something strange on the mountain. Until now, no one had tried to enter the mountain. Zhao Yun set off with the two children. Mu Yinfeng was left alone in the house. He felt a little lonely. Before Zhao Yun went out, Mu Yinfeng reminded her, "Miss Yun, be careful on the road. Don't worry. It's been hard on you. It's okay." Mu Yinfeng smiled slightly. His beautiful smile dazzled Zhao Yun's eyes. Zhao Yun hurriedly pulled the two children and left together. She was afraid that if she stayed for a second longer, she would be immersed in Mu Yinfeng's smile. On the way up the mountain, they met Chen Erwa, a little friend who usually caught bullfrogs with Daodu. He was a relatively well-behaved child. Most of the time, people from the countryside would give names like this. They weren't as particular as modern people. His name was Erwa, the second child in the family. Chen Erwa was 7 or 8 years old, about the same age as Zhao Tianfu. He probably didn't eat nutritious food on a daily basis, so he was so skinny that he looked like a bag of bones. Zhao Yun'er felt sorry for her. So when Chen Erwa went to her house, she took out some food for Chen Erwa to eat. Although the Chen family had separated, Chen Erwa's parents had 4 or 5 children in total. He also had several younger brothers and sisters. Their family didn't have much land, and they had many children. Naturally, the food they ate was poor. Chen Erwa's mother, Feng Yu, is from the same village. Zhao Yun has seen her before. She was only 3 or 4 years older than Zhao Yun. He was clearly only in his 20s, but he looked abnormally old. He looked like a man in his 30s or 40s. This woman had become like this because she had given birth to so many children, which was harmful to her body. Secondly, she had to take care of several children every day while maintaining the household chores. It was extremely tiring every day. Thirdly, his family was poor, and he couldn't afford to eat anything good. It was strange that people didn't age well. In addition, Feng Yu was dark to begin with. In this way, she would probably become an old woman in a few years. What Zhao Yun couldn't figure out was that the people of this era were obviously very poor, but they still kept giving birth to children. If they gave birth to fewer children, their family wouldn't be like that. They would have fewer mouths to feed, and the pressure would be much less. Unfortunately, people in ancient times had different ideas. They believed that the more children there were, the better. In addition, the contraceptive measures in this era weren't good. Basically, every family had many children. "Aunt Yun, can I go up the mountain with you to take a look?" Chen Erwa asked timidly. Looking at the child's expectant eyes, Zhao Yun couldn't bear to refuse. Chapter 234. Zhao Yun'er felt that she needed to remind her, in case she really brought Chen Erwa up the mountain and encountered any danger. At that time, the child's family would come back to settle the score with her. Chen Erwa shook his head. "Aunt Yun, I'm not afraid. You're all here. What's there to be afraid of? And I also want to go up the mountain to take a look. I've never been there before." Previously, he had heard Zhao Tianfu and Dao talk about some things on the mountain, but he had only heard about it from Zhao Tianfu and Daoda's ears. He had not seen it with his own eyes, but he was very interested. Zhao Yun thought that she also had 2 children. One more child was not much. So she said to Chen Erwa, "Aunt Yun can take you there, but you can't tell your parents when you go back." Even if nothing happened on the mountain, Zhao Yun knew that the Chen family would definitely not want a child to go up the mountain and encounter any danger. Chen Erwa nodded heavily. "Aunt Yun, don't worry, I definitely won't say anything." Zhao Yun smiled. "Okay, let's go up together." And Chen Erwa's little face revealed an excited smile. This child was usually at home and was not valued by his parents. He was neither the oldest nor the youngest. He was not very smart and likable, but he felt happy to follow behind Zhao Yun. Chen Erwa walked behind Zhao Yun, and Daodu, holding Daodu's hand very gently. Chen Erwa looked at the interaction between Zhao Yun and Daodu, and a trace of envy appeared in his eyes. If only his mother treated him like this. But since he was young, his mother had always yelled at him and had never been gentle. Zhao Yun turned around and looked at Chen Erwa to make sure that he was not following. When she turned around, she found Chen Erwa looking at her in a daze. Zhao Yun thought that something had happened to Chen Erwa, so she asked, Erwa, what's wrong? Chen Erwa pulled out a smile and said, Aunt Yun, it's nothing. Then hurry up and catch up. Don't fall behind. Watch your step. Don't trip on the tree stump. Zhao Yun warned and then called Chen Erwa over. Come, Erwa. Aunt Yun will hold your hand. This way, we can walk more steadily. Chen Erwa was a little embarrassed and took the money. Zhao Yun'er held Daodu in one hand and Chen Erwa in the other. Zhao Yun'er's hand was a little warm. Chen Erwa felt very secure and warm. He raised his head and glanced at Zhao Yun'er. At this moment, he really wanted his mother to be like Zhao Yun'er. If he could have such a mother, he would be very happy, right? Zhao Yun'er was looking for herbs on the mountain. When she found them, she started digging with the children. Then, he introduced the effects of the herbs to the children. Although the children were still young, it would be good for them to know more things in the future, especially these more practical things. They dug the herbs for more than an hour. It was not easy to come to the mountain. Zhao Yun'er was reluctant to go back, so she looked around to see if there was anything good. She saw a lot of birds' nests in the book. Zhao Yun'er put down the basket in her hand and prepared to climb the tree to get the birds' eggs. Aunt Yun, I know how to climb trees. Let me go. Chen Erwa took the initiative. Chapter 235. Erwa, can you do it? If you can't, you can let Aunt Yun do it. Zhao Yun was a little worried. This tree is not short. If he falls from the tree, it will not be a light fall. Aunt Yun, I can do it, Chen Erwa said. Daodu also said in a soft voice. Mother, Erwa Gij is very good at climbing trees. We have all seen it. Well, Erwa, then you go up. Slow down, don't fall, Zhao Yun urged. She was still a little worried that Chen Erwa would have an accident. Chen Erwa nodded heavily. Zhao Yun stood under the tree and saw Chen Erwa climb up the tree. The speed of climbing the tree is like a monkey. In addition, Chen Erwa is very thin and small. When he climbs the tree, his body is very light. Zhao Yun saw it with her own eyes. Only then did she know why this child took the initiative to ask her to climb the tree. He is indeed much more powerful than her. Chen Erwa took out all the eggs in the bird's nest. He took out a few birds' nests and got about 30 or 40 bird eggs. Plus, he caught 3 or 4 big birds. When he goes back, he can definitely eat a few sumptuous meals. Zhao Yun picked a few large leaves and wrapped the bird eggs and put them in the basket. The bottom of the basket is filled with herbs. This kind of cushion will be soft and will not break the bird eggs. As for the bird that he caught, Zhao Yun tied its wings and put it in the basket. Erwa, you have done the most today. When the time comes, you can take half of the bird eggs back. Let your mother cook for you. This is delicious. Zhao Yun lovingly touched Chen Erwa's head. Chen Erwa has never been praised by anyone. His parents have never said this to him. He was slightly moved in his heart. He said to Zhao Yun, Aunt Yun, it's okay. You can take it back. I don't need it. What? You don't like to eat it? You should be polite to Aunt Yun. Chen Erwa still shook his head. Aunt Yun, even if I take it back, my mother may not let me eat it. So it's better for you to eat. Zhao Yun sighed and looked at Chen Erwa with deep affection. She guessed that he was not favored at home, and it was not his turn to have delicious food. How about this? Erwa, come to Aunt Yun's place later. Yun will cook for you, what do you think? Facing the gentleness in Zhao Yun's eyes, Chen Erwa felt his heart melt. She lowered her head shyly. Aunt Yun, wouldn't that be too troublesome for you? Of course not. Then I'll eat at your place. All right. Today's harvest was quite bountiful. These eggs could be used to replenish the children's protein. When Zhao Yun called the children down the mountain, she saw something moving in the grass, not far away. It looks like a pheasant, Zhao Yun said softly. When the children heard that it was a pheasant, they were all excited. Aunt Yun, I'll go take a look. Chen Erwa ran over. His footsteps were very light, and no movement could be heard. Of course, the thing in the grass did not hear anyone coming over. When Chen Erwa got closer, the thing seemed to have reacted. Just as it was about to run, Chen Erwa suddenly pounced over. Poochie Poochie, the thing in Chen Erwa's arms struggled, but it could not break free. Zhao Yun also rushed over to help. Chapter 236. With the help of Zhao Yun, the chicken couldn't run away even if it wanted to. Zhao Yun quickly took out the hemp grass and tied the chicken's wings. She weighed it in her hand and estimated that it weighed 3 or 4 jin. It was fatter than the pheasants she usually saw. If she took it back to cook, she estimated that she could cook a large plate of chicken. It had to be said that Chun Erwa had done well to catch this chicken. Otherwise, with Zhao Yun's skill, the pheasant would have flown away by the time she arrived. Aunt Yun, there are eggs in the chicken coop. Chun Erwa pointed to the chicken coop. Zhao Yun looked down and saw that there were more than 10 eggs lying in the chicken coop. She didn't know if the pheasant wanted to hatch chicks. Zhao Yun carefully picked up the eggs. She put them into the basket. Today's harvest was beyond her expectations. Erwa, you are so amazing. You can even catch this pheasant. Chun Erwa shyly scratched his head, and his little face was red. However, it could be seen that he was still very happy to be praised by Zhao Yun. Erwa Gij is so amazing. Daodu also looked at Chun Erwa with some admiration. It's nothing. Chun Erwa became more and more shy. Erwa, eat at Aunt Yun's place today. Yunner cooked dinner early so that your mother won't be in a hurry to call you home for dinner. Chun Erwa shyly responded. Because of the bountiful harvest, when they went down the mountain, they were very happy. Zhao Yun also sang a few nursery rhymes for the children. The children of this era had naturally never heard of it. Zhao Yun's voice was clear and pleasant, and her singing drifted far in the woods. The joy of this moment was very rare. In this carefree rural life, Zhao Yun found that she also liked it from the bottom of her heart. After walking for 20 or 30 minutes, they finally went down the mountain and reached the road in the village. She didn't expect to meet Chun Erwa's mother, Feng Yu, on the way. When Feng Yu saw Chun Erwa and Zhao Yun together and laughing so happily, his face immediately darkened. He scolded Chun Erwa and then said sternly, Erwa, where did you go? Aren't you afraid that she'll lead you astray if you get together with anyone? Our Chun family is an innocent family. Feng Yu's words were very unpleasant to hear. In fact, he was indirectly scolding the locust tree. She thought she was scolding Chun Erwa, but she was scolding Zhao Yun in disguise. Zhao Yun didn't feel good when she heard that. Was there a need for this Feng Yu to speak so harshly? It was too much to do it in front of child. Feng Yu didn't feel it all. A pair of eyes coldly swept over Zhao Yun's face with a look of disgust. Chun Erwa felt uncomfortable when he heard Feng Yu say that about Zhao Yun. Mother, don't say that about Aunt Yun. I want to play with Aunt Yun. Seeing that Chun Erwa actually defended Zhao Yun, Feng Yu was even more furious. She poked Chun Erwa's head with her thick black fingers and reprimanded. You damn child! How dare you talk back to your mother? If I see you running away in fear and hanging out with some shady people again, I will break your legs. Chun Erwa didn't dare to speak after being scolded. Zhao Yun looked at Feng Yu's attitude towards Chun Erwa and shook her head in her heart. This child was really pitiful. After all, he was her own child. She didn't need to treat him like this, right? Chapter 237. Zhao Yun's words made Feng Yu very unhappy. Feng Yu coldly snorted at Zhao Yun and said, What? I'm disciplining my son and you want to interfere? Zhao Yun, who do you think you are? Meddling in other people's business. Zhao Yun was refuted by Feng Yu and didn't know what to say. She was silent for a moment. There was nothing wrong with what Feng Yu said. She was disciplining her own child. She had no right to interfere. However, Chun Erwa was scolded like this because he was with her. After thinking about it, Zhao Yun replied, I don't care if you discipline your own child. Then tell me, what do you mean by a shady person? You have to give me an explanation for scolding me like this, right? Feng Yu rolled her eyes at Zhao Yun. If you're not a shady person, then what are you? Doesn't everyone in the village know what kind of woman you are? You got pregnant before marriage and then seduced men. You dare to do it, but don't dare to let others talk about it. Zhao Yun looked at Feng Yu's rampant appearance and really wanted to slap her a few times. After all, She was Chun Erwa's mother. In front of Chun Erwa, Zhao Yun couldn't do anything. You're not allowed to talk about my mother like this. Dowda was also angry. His little face angrily stared at Feng Yu. So what if I talk about your mother? Aren't you also a little bastard? Humph. Tell me, where's your father? Is there no one? Well, Dowda was so angry that he cried for a moment. He suddenly threw himself into Zhao Yun's arms. Chun Erwa couldn't stand Feng Yu's excessive appearance and said to Feng Yu, Mother, how can you say that about Aunt Yun and Dao Du? You're so bad. Zhao Yun patted Dowda's back with one hand. She could endure it, but in front of Chun Erwa, it was fine as long as they didn't do anything too excessive to her. Obviously, this Feng Yu wasn't. This woman was simply pushing her luck. Just as Feng Yu was feeling proud of himself, Zhao Yun slapped Feng Yu across the face. Feng Yu immediately felt a burning pain on his face. You? How dare you hit me? I'll fight you to the death. Zhao Yun scolded. I'm warning you. Don't provoke me. This slap is for what you said. If you fight me again, you'll end up worse than this. Chun Erwa quickly pulled Feng Yu back. Mother, don't fight with Aunt Yun. You can't beat her. Feng Yu had heard some things in the village before. The current Zhao Yun was not as easy to bully as before. She was very powerful. If he couldn't make a move, was he going to take a slap for nothing? Feng Yu sat down on the ground and began to cry. He cursed, You hit me. Is there any justice in this world? Zhao Yun frowned in disgust. This Feng Yu was not old, but how could she be more difficult to deal with than those middle-aged women in their 30s or 40s? Mother, get up. Chun Erwa pulled Feng Yu on the ground. Feng Yu blamed the pain of her slap on Chun Erwa. If it wasn't for this little brat, she wouldn't have been beaten so badly. Therefore, when Chun Erwa was pulling Feng Yu kicked Chun Erwa, and Chun Erwa fell to the ground. His hand rubbed against the sharp stones on the ground, and his skin was immediately scraped, and some blood oozed out. Although it was painful, Chun Erwa endured it and didn't cry. Zhao Yun didn't know why Feng Yu, as a mother, was so cruel to her own child. Chapter 238. Zhao Yun looked at Chun Erwa with heartache and helped him up. Erwa, how are you? Does it hurt? Chun Erwa shook his head, feeling wronged. No pain? Sigh, how could that be? So much of his skin had been scraped off. The injury was already very serious. Sighing, Zhao Yun could not say anything. The more she blamed Feng Yu, the more disappointed Chun Erwa would be. She thought that it would take a long time, but fortunately, Chun Erwa's father, Chun Aniu, came over. Chun Aniu was only 27 or 28 years old. He looked like Feng Yu, very dark and very skinny. However, he was very tall, about 1.8 meters. In this era, he was already considered tall. Chun Aniu saw his wife sitting on the ground carelessly and could not help but frown. He pulled Feng Yu up. Why are you sitting on the ground? What do you look like? Chun Aniu's tone had a hint of reprimand. In this era where men were superior to women, most women were more afraid of men and were submissive to men. After Chun Aniu reprimanded her, Feng Yu did not dare to cry too loudly. Instead, she complained to Chun Aniu. Aniu, look at my face. It's so red. It's all because of this B***TCH. Chun Aniu looked at Feng Yu's cheek that had been slapped. He replied faintly, Your face is clearly dark. Where is it red? Because of Chun Aniu's words, Zhao Yun almost burst out laughing. She was originally quite angry, but now she only felt that it was funny. Feng Yu's face was dark. She really did get slapped, but there was no reaction. It was probably because the original black color covered the red color. Speaking of which, this Feng Yu was also very dark. She looked like she came from Africa. Feng Yu was a little anxious. She moved her face closer and pulled Chun Aniu, saying, Look again. Aniu, look again. It's definitely there. Chun Aniu was a little annoyed. All right, what's going on? She wouldn't hit you for no reason, right? Zhao Yun looked at Chun Aniu again. She felt that this man should be more reasonable than Feng Yu. Without waiting for Zhao Yun to explain, Chun Erwa helped Zhao Yun to explain. Chun Aniu's face darkened. He reprimanded Feng Yu. You still have the face to be hit? You're just a troublemaker. Phone, you felt wronged. Anya, you're my man. You're not helping me. You're helping another woman? Has your soul been taken away by this little b asterisk tch as well? How could this be? Anya? He had only seen Zhao Yun today. How could he have any shady business with Zhao Yun? You crazy woman. If you talk nonsense again, I'll teach you a lesson when we get back. Chen Aniu said fiercely. Feng Yu didn't dare to speak anymore. Chen Aniu looked at Zhao Yun and apologized to Zhao Yun. Miss Yun, my wife's words were a little harsh. I hope you don't take it to heart. I'll apologize on her behalf. Since Chen Aniu had said so, Zhao Yun didn't have any reason to not let it go. On the contrary, this Chun family finally had a reasonable person. She was quite glad. Chapter 239. Feng Yu's matter had nothing to do with Chen Aniu and Chun Erwa. If she really wanted to settle the score, she could settle the score with Feng Yu alone later. Zhao Yun's slight smile on her delicate and pretty face was particularly charming. Chen Aniu had never seen such a beautiful woman. He didn't have the slightest bit of interest in a dark and swarthy woman every day. Zhao Yun's smile made her feel the beauty of a woman. For a moment, Chen Aniu was a little stunned. Feng Yu saw Zhao Yun smiling at her man, and her man was also attracted by Zhao Yun. It was as if she had hooked his soul. She immediately cursed in her heart. This little b asterisk tch really only knew how to seduce people. Now she was probably eyeing her man again. A pair of resentful eyes glared at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun pretended not to see it. She naturally knew Feng Yu's warning, but she was not seducing people. Aniu, aren't we leaving yet? Feng Yu pulled Chen Aniu. If they did not leave quickly, they did not know what would happen. Only then did Chen Aniu react and realize that he had lost his composure. Go, of course we're going. Chen Aniu responded. Then let's go quickly. Okay. Chen Erwa wanted to follow, but his leg was injured and he could not walk at all. Feng Yu not only ignored him, but turned back and said to Chen Erwa, let's go back and see how to deal with you. Feng Yu also blamed Chen Erwa for today's bitter experience. Chen Erwa was so scared that he trembled. Okay, don't scare Erwa. Let the child go quickly. Zhao Yun thought that the pheasant had not been cooked yet. If Chen Erwa went back, he might not be able to eat it. Seeing that the wounds on Chen Erwa's legs and hands seemed to be serious, she said to Chen Aniu, Erwa's father, I think Erwa is badly hurt. How about this? I still have some herbs at home. I will take Erwa back and bandage him. When he is bandaged, I will let him go back. What do you think? Chen Aniu thought for a moment and nodded. Then I'll have to trouble Miss Yun'er. It's no trouble. Feng Yu was too lazy to see Chen Erwa. It was good that this damn child didn't come back. It would be better if he stayed with Zhao Yun'er and didn't come back. However, Zhao Yun'er's words still made her very angry. Wasn't pretending to be kind in front of her man a way to seduce him? This woman was really scheming. On the way, Chen Aniu couldn't help but scold Feng Yu. Mother of my child, sometimes you go too far. Erwa is our biological child, after all. Why are you so cruel to him? It's better for an outsider to treat our Erwa better. Chen Aniu's side was also true. Over the years, there were many children in the family, and there were always some who were not favored. When Feng Yu gave birth to Chen Erwa, she had a trip to the gates of hell. So Feng Yu felt that Chen Erwa brought misfortune to her, so she treated this child the worst. But for Chen Aniu, any child was the same. They were all his children. For so many years, if he had not often protected Erwa, who knew what would have become of him? Chapter 240. Woman, what nonsense are you spouting again? I'm just telling the truth. Child's father, what kind of lie are you spouting? I don't know who was the one who stared straight at that bitch just now, and you still say you didn't? Why don't you ask others if they believe you? Feng Yu cried and made a fuss again. The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. Wasn't that bitch just a little better looking than her? Was there need to stare at her like that? You're too unreasonable. If you keep spouting nonsense, see if I don't teach you a lesson. Chen Aniu glared at Feng Yu fiercely. Feng Yu was frightened by Chen Aniu's look. She knew that if she spoke too much, Chen Aniu might beat her when they got back. She quickly shut her mouth, but her hatred toward Zhao Yun increased a little. After Chen and Feng Yu left, Zhao Yun squatted in front of Chen and asked softly, it hurts a lot, right? Can you stand up and walk? Or Aunt Yun will be. Chen quickly shook his head. It's okay, Aunt Yun, I can walk by myself. Really? Don't try to be brave. Really, Aunt Yun, I'll get up slowly and walk slowly. It'll be okay. Chen insisted. Zhao Yun looked at Chen admiringly. Actually, this child was not that old. If it was the 21st century, he would have already thrown himself into his parents' arms and cried in pain. How could he be like now, not crying or making a fuss, and still insisting on getting up by himself? Is great. Zhao Yun praised and helped Chen up. Then she supported him and followed her back home. Zhao Yun put down the basket and took out the things inside. She picked out the medicine to stop bleeding and pain, ground it, and started to apply it on Chen leg. She took out a piece of white cloth and bandaged Chen leg. How is it? Are you better? And much better. Thank you, Aunt Yun. No need to thank me. Zhao Yun patted Chen head. He asked Chen to sit down and rest while Zhao Tianfu accompanied him. Daodu, on the other hand, had already run into the house. Zhao Yun got up, carried a basin of hot water, and entered the room. After entering, she found Daodu crying in Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng hugged Daodu and gently patted Daodu's back. Daodu's small body sank into Mu Lianfeng's embrace. It was a little warm. Zhao Yun hurriedly asked, Daodu, what's wrong? Zhao Yun could hear Daodu's soft sobs. If the child wanted to cry, shouldn't he be crying in her arms? How did she end up in Mu Lianfeng's arms? Daodu lifted his small and delicate face, which was still tear-stained. Looking at Daodu's aggrieved little face, Zhao Yun's heart ached. Mu Lianfeng explained, Daodu said that he wants a father. Zhao Yun was stunned. Mu Lianfeng began to explain again. Daodu said that others say that he is a wild child and has no father. If I become his father, no one will say that about him anymore. Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed. Master Mu, Daodu is young and doesn't know anything. He just said that casually. Don't take it seriously. Chapter 241. Besides what? Besides, I think Daodu is very cute. I'm very happy to be Daodu's father. Mu Lianfeng said with a faint smile on his lips. Looking at the smile on Mu Lianfeng's face, which seemed to have a deeper meaning, Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed. What did this man mean? If he was willing to be Daodu's father, did that mean that he was willing to marry her? Was this a confession to her? Zhao Yun shook her head. Maybe she had misunderstood and was narcissistic. Mu Lianfeng had so many women around him, and there were so many beauties. With so many beauties around him, and her looks were so ordinary. Would Mu Lianfeng take a fancy to her? It wasn't that he wasn't confident, but sometimes it was better to be realistic. Otherwise, there would be a misunderstanding and a joke. Mu, young Master Mu, are you joking? Zhao Yun said with a smile. Joking? Miss Yun, why would I joke? I really like Daodu, and I think Daodu is very good. Why don't I take Daodu as my godson? Mu Lianfeng was still smiling as he said to Zhao Yun, Mu, young Master Mu, you want to take Daodu as your godson? Zhao Yun asked with uncertainty. What was Mu Lianfeng's status? He was the heir. If he took Daodu as his godson, Daodu's status would rise along with Mu Lianfeng. Seeing that Zhao Yun didn't say anything, Mu Lianfeng thought that Zhao Yun didn't agree, so he asked again, What's wrong, Miss Yun? Does Miss Yun think that it's inappropriate for Daodu to take me as his godson? No. Zhao Yun hurriedly waved her hand. Then, young Master Mu, it's not a small matter to take in a godson. Do you need to discuss it with your family? Will it affect you in the future if you take in Daodu? After all, you're not married yet. Naturally, no one else can interfere with my decision. As long as Miss Yun agrees, there's no need to worry about anything else. Zhao Yun had no reason to refuse after hearing Mu Lianfeng's words. If Daodu was willing, Mu Lianfeng was also willing. Was too. It's their family's family. That's right. they were at a disadvantage. Only his faces go Er's eyes. He was just waiting for Zhao Yun to nod. If Zhao Yun refused, Daodu would probably be sad again. Is... The corners of Mu Yinfeng's lips curled up slightly. That's good. Is there any ceremony needed for this? Zhao Yun asked. The ceremony of the 21st century was probably different from the ancient times. She didn't know what to do in this era. Miss Yun, I'll do the ceremony when I get back to the Shizi's residence. All right then. Seeing that Zhao Yun and Mu Yinfeng had reached an agreement, Daodu wiped away the tears on his face with his tender little hands. Father, Daodu's mother and father were very sweet, and it softened people's hearts. For some reason, Zhao Yun still had a strange feeling. If Daodu called her father like this every day, wouldn't people think that Mu Yinfeng was her man if they heard it? Mu Yinfeng patted Daodu's head lovingly. It was rare for him to show fatherly love in his eyes. This kind of feeling was something he had never had before. Chapter 242. Daodu won't be a fatherless child from now on. Daodu is so happy. Daodu said in a soft voice, his pair of beautiful eyes curved into crescents when he smiled. Mother, then is Uncle Mu considered mother's husband now? Uncle Mu is tall, handsome, and rich. Daodu looked at Zhao Yun with an innocent face. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched slightly. Children, were they all so naive? Daodu, it's true that your Uncle Feng is your godfather, but he has nothing to do with mother. Zhao Yun hurriedly clarified, afraid that Mu Yinfeng would misunderstand. Daodu's words just now had already made her very embarrassed. She didn't know if Mu Yinfeng would laugh at her in his heart. She secretly glanced at Mu Yinfeng and found that the smile on his face had deepened. Her face slightly reddened. Zhao Yun hurriedly shifted her gaze away. Daodu looked at Zhao Yun with a puzzled expression. Mother, why is that? Uncle Feng is my father. Come, mother, you're my mother. So wouldn't Uncle Feng be mother's husband? Daodu's deductive ability seemed very strong, but as a child, there were many things that he didn't understand. Daodu, you can't count it like that. You recognize your Uncle Feng as your godfather, so that's between you and your Uncle Feng. If your Uncle Feng wants to become mother's husband, then mother must marry your Uncle Feng. Daodu nodded as if he didn't fully understand. Zhao Yun, and Mu Yinfeng definitely wouldn't marry Mu Yinfeng just because Mu Yinfeng was his godfather. Of course, even if she was willing, Mu Yinfeng might not be willing. If Mu Yinfeng agreed, he had the support of the Shizi manor behind him. If those upper-class people knew that Mu Yinfeng had married a village woman and a village woman with a child, they would probably object. Mother, in that case, won't it be fine if Uncle Feng marries you? Zhao Yun was rendered speechless by Daodu's words. How could this child think of such things? Was he really a 3-year-old child? Mu Yinfeng finally couldn't help but laugh. This smile was too beautiful. It was even more charming than a woman's. It had to be said that Mu Yinfeng's face had both the heroic spirit of a man and the beauty of a woman. He had never seen such a beautiful and exquisite face anywhere else. Mu Yinfeng's laughter made Zhao Yun feel even more at a loss. Mu Yinfeng was probably laughing at her, right? If he was laughing at her, then so be it. Daodu, this child, had probably already sold her out. Zhao Yun was afraid that the image she left in Mu Yinfeng's heart would be that of a woman who loved money and handsome men. Although, in reality, she was more or less such a woman. Daodu, you can't speak carelessly. Zhao Yun said softly and patted Daodu's head. Mother? Can't I? Daodu looked at Zhao Yun in confusion. Thinking that this matter should be discussed with Mu Yinfeng, she turned her head to Mu Yinfeng. She said to Mu Yinfeng, Uncle Feng, can you marry my mother? This way, Daodu can have a father, and mother can also have a husband. Zhao Yun felt her face twitch fiercely again. Mu Yinfeng's mouth twitched slightly and said to Daodu, Uncle Feng has no objections. You have to ask your mother. Chapter 243. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched violently. What kind of joke was this? Moreover, Zhao Yun did not like others to joke about this matter. Young Master Mu, stop teasing Dao Du. Children will be serious. Zhao Yun forced a smile. Miss Yun, do you think I'm teasing Dao Du? Isn't that so? Young Master Mu, could it be that you're serious? It shouldn't be, right? Yun still has self-awareness. A proud son of heaven, like young Master Mu, must marry a peerless beauty. How can someone like me enter young Master Mu's eyes? Moreover, I'm not proficient in the four arts. In short, it was just one sentence. She had no talent and no virtue. The difference between Mu Lianfeng and her was too big. It was impossible for the two of them to be together. Mu Lianfeng smiled and did not answer Zhao Yun's words. Zhao Yun did not know what Mu Lianfeng meant. However, he did not continue this topic, which made Zhao Yun breathe a sigh of relief. Dao Du, Mother is going to change the dressing for your Uncle Feng. Zhao Yun said and began to change the topic. She was afraid that Dao Du would ask this again, which would only make her embarrassed. Oh, then Mother will do it. Dao Du quickly retreated. Dao Du was still very concerned about Mu Lianfeng's injury. Zhao Yun twisted the towel in the basin and walked to the bed. Young Master Mu, can you take off your clothes? Or should I do it? I'll have to trouble Miss Yun. There was a trace of guilt in Mu Lianfeng's tone, but a trace of cunning flashed in his eyes. Zhao Yun had to bite the bullet and bandage Mu Lianfeng. After treating the wound, Zhao Yun hurriedly ran out of the room. I'm going to cook, Zhao Yun said in embarrassment. Looking at Zhao Yun's departing figure, the corners of Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. He said to Dao Du, it seems that your mother doesn't like me. What should I do? Dao Du gave Mu Lianfeng a comforting look. Uncle Feng, don't worry. I think my mother will definitely like you. Oh, you are so confident. Uncle Feng, you are tall, handsome, and rich. Of course my mother likes you. Mu Lianfeng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Will your mother like any other man who has these qualities? Dao Du's eyes turned. He thought for a moment and said, Not really, Uncle Feng. Anyway, I think my mother will definitely like you in the future. Ha! Mu Lianfeng laughed heartily. I hope so. Zhao Yun was busy preparing dinner in the kitchen. Zhao Yun braised the chicken that she brought back and stir-fried some mushrooms that she had just brought back from the mountain. The pot of chicken and chicken soup was extremely delicious. She also stir-fried a few eggs with green peppers. It was very spicy. Then, she added a small vegetable. It was basically wild game. In the 21st century, it was something that couldn't be bought with money. There was rice in the pot that wasn't cooked yet. Zhao Yun was about to call the children to eat earlier when a familiar voice sounded in the kitchen. Sister Yun, this voice was very sweet. Zhao Yun took a while to react. Was this Xiao Hong calling her? Frowning slightly, Zhao Yun still came out of the kitchen. Sure enough, it was Xiao Hong standing at the door. Chapter 244. Zhao Yun walked over and saw a basket in Xiao Hong's hand. There seemed to be something in the basket. Zhao Yun caught a glimpse of a few eggs and became even more curious. Could it be that Xiao Hong had given her these things? What did that mean? Putting away the curiosity in her eyes, Zhao Yun walked up to Xiao Hong and asked, Why are you here? Zhao Yun's attitude was very cold. Zhao Yun felt that there was no need to be polite with Xiao Hong, who was a white lotus who had harmed her behind her back. Sister Yun, I'm here to send you something. Xiao Hong put on a smile in the face of Zhao Yun's coldness. Then, she handed the basket in her hand to Zhao Yun. Sister Yun, here's some eggs, 10 of them, and some brown sugar. Dao Du is still young. Give it to Dao Du to nourish his body. Sister Yun saved me last time, but I didn't have a chance to thank you for what Xiao Hong said. She seemed to be a kind-hearted person who knew how to repay kindness. But in fact, she was stabbing someone in the back. She really looked innocent and harmless, but her heart was like a snake. If others saw the things that Xiao Hong had sent over, they would indeed feel that it was good. 10 eggs was a rare thing in the countryside. But for Zhao Yun, she didn't think much of it now. Moreover, Xiao Hong had suddenly sent her these things. Who knew what she was up to? You can take it back. I don't lack it. Zhao Yun didn't even look at it, and coldly threw a sentence. Xiao Hong was slightly taken aback. Zhao Yun was obviously so poor, but she didn't even look at the eggs. It was strange. Sister Yun, what's wrong with you? Do you think that the things I gave you are too shabby? Xiao Hong pretended to be sad. Zhao Yun frowned in disgust. This woman was really good at pretending. Don't you understand human language? Or are we two different species? I said I don't need it. But Xiao Hong bit her lower lip, looking sad. Xiao Hong, to be honest, there's no one else here. You don't have to pretend with me. You don't have to use your things to please me. I know what you've done. Zhao Yun sneered. She completely treated Xiao Hong as a clown, acting in front of her. Yet, she had seen through this show once again. A complicated expression appeared in Xiao Hong's eyes, and the smile on her lips seemed a little stiff. However, she continued to smile at Zhao Yun. Big Sister Yun, I don't know if you've heard some rumors or misunderstood me. I really didn't do anything to let you down. Little sister Xiao Hong, I didn't say that you did anything to let me down. Why are you in such a hurry to explain? Or should I say, you're just giving yourself away? Xiao Hong hurriedly waved her hands. Big Sister Yun, that's not it. I'm just afraid that you'll misunderstand. You know that the women in our village are like this. They like to say things that don't exist. I know whether you did or not. I told you to stop pretending, so stop pretending. You must have something to say today, right? If you have something to say, just say it. Maybe I can agree. Zhao Yun sneered. Chapter 245. Xiao Hong's expression was a little ugly. She thought for a while and said, Sigh, since Sister Yun says so, then I'll say it. I did come here today to ask Sister Yun for a favor. Then say it. Zhao Yun put her hands on her hips. She wanted to hear what Xiao Hong, this white lotus, wanted to say. Big Sister Yun, you also know that girls are more concerned about their own reputation. So I hope that Sister Yun won't spread the news that Lu San bullied me. Otherwise, people with ulterior motives will hear it and have other thoughts. After Xiao Hong finished speaking, Zhao Yun also understood. So this was what this woman was worried about. Interesting. No wonder she sent things over. It turned out that she was afraid that she would frame Zhao Yun in the first place. Then, Zhao Yun would use this matter to spread the news and retaliate. Zhao Yun finally saw how much Xiao Hong was scheming. However, she wanted to bribe her with such a small thing? Wouldn't that be letting Xiao Hong off too easily? Seeing that Zhao Yun didn't say anything and just smiled coldly, Xiao Hong was a little nervous. Sister Yun, can you promise me? I beg you, okay? Xiao Hong took a step forward. Zhao Yun hurriedly stepped back. Since this woman cared so much about her reputation, how could she disappoint her? One day, she would peel off this layer of skin on the surface. Do you think I'm you? Zhao Yun replied indifferently. However, this simple sentence shut Xiao Hong's mouth. Sister Yun, okay, don't pretend. Take your things and get out of here. Zhao Yun urged. Sister Yun Xiao Hong was a little unwilling. However, looking at Zhao Yun's attitude, it was obvious that she didn't want to talk to her. Although she was worried that Zhao Yun would really sell her out, there was nothing she could do. Then, Big Sister Yun, I'll take my leave first, Xiao Hong said. He glanced at Zhao Yun, then turned around and prepared to leave. Suddenly, she heard laughter coming from Zhao Yun's house. Amidst the laughter, there was a man's voice. Xiao Hong felt that it was a little strange. Why was there a man's voice in Zhao Yun's room? Could it be that she brought some wild man back? It would be great if that was the case. If she was really caught, her crime would be even worse than seducing someone. A woman bringing a man back was a crime that could be sunk into the lake. Xiao Hong stretched her head toward Zhao Yun's house. Zhao Yun asked coldly, What are you looking at? Sister Yun, I heard a man's voice. Is there a guest in your house? Zhao Yun immediately understood. Xiao Hong probably heard Mu Yinfeng's voice. What guest? My brother and son are in the house. What's wrong? As Zhao Yun spoke, she stood in front of Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong retracted her head. Then, okay then. Sister Yun, I'll take my leave. Just as Xiao Hong was about to leave, Zhao Yun'er saw Lu Lei walking over from not far away. An idea flashed through her mind. Since Xiao Hong, this white lotus, wanted to frame her, then she would let Xiao Hong know what it was like to be framed. An eye for an eye. Chapter 246. Ouch! Zhao Yun'er cried out in pain. Lu Lei saw it from afar and immediately ran over. Yun'er, how are you? Are you okay? Zhao Yun'er squeezed out a tear from her eye and said to Lu Lei, I'm fine. Lu Lei frowned. How could you be fine after falling so hard? Of course, he didn't believe that Lu Lei would fall when he was fine. He seemed to have seen Xiao Hong push her just now. Yun'er, how did you fall? Lu Lei asked with a guess in his heart. I fell down myself, Zhao Yun said, but she glanced at Xiao Hong. This feeling of wanting to cover up made Lu Lei even more certain that Xiao Hong pushed her. He turned to Xiao Hong coldly and said to her, Xiao Hong, how many more times are you going to play such vicious tricks? How did Yun'er offend you? You've harmed her time and time again. The first time, you framed her for pushing you into the river, causing Yun'er to be misunderstood and scolded. The second time, you spread the rumor that Yun'er seduced Lu San, and Yun'er was scolded even more severely by the villagers. If she hadn't clarified it later, who knows what her reputation would have become in the future. Now you push Yun'er. Just how vicious is your heart? Lu Lei naturally knew that Xiao Hong was targeting Zhao Yun'er because of him. Xiao Hong thought that the person he liked was Zhao Yun'er, so she kept targeting Zhao Yun. In that case, he was the one who had implicated Zhao Yun'er. Xiao Hong was taken aback by Lu Lei's sudden words. Her eyes instantly turned red. Was she such a woman in Lu Lei's eyes? Xiao Hong hurriedly said, Brother Lu, no, I didn't push her. Xiao Hong wasn't stupid. She understood that Zhao Yun'er had framed her. This B***TCH actually knew how to frame others. Xiao Hong had never been wronged like this before, so she was naturally indignant. Who else could it be but you? Are you saying that Yun'er is framing you? Big Brother Lu, believe me. It was Zhao Yun'er who framed me. I didn't push her. Xiao Hong was a little anxious. After all, she liked Lu Lei. If Lu Lei misunderstood her as such a woman, Lu Lei probably wouldn't like her anymore. When Lu Lei's back was facing Xiao Hong, Zhao Yun revealed a smug smile to Xiao Hong, deliberately provoking Xiao Hong. As expected, Xiao Hong was so infuriated by Zhao Yun'er that she lost her rationality. She rushed to Zhao Yun'er and pointed at Zhao Yun'er's nose. B***TCH, you framed me. Why did you frame me? Zhao Yun'er pretended to be scared and hid behind him. She looked very scared. Little sister Xiao Hong, when did I frame you? You speak with your conscience. I said something about being cold to you just now. Zhao Yun'er's tone sounded very aggrieved. However, there was a flash of slyness and smugness in her eyes. Seeing Xiao Hong's flustered and exasperated look was really satisfying. She should have known that a woman like Xiao Hong didn't care about other things. She only cared about Lu Lei's attitude. If Lu Lei's impression of her was any worse, it would be worse than beating her up. After all, no woman wanted to leave a bad impression in front of the man she loved. Chapter 247. Big Brother Lu, why don't you believe me? Believe Zhao Yun'er. I really didn't push her. She deliberately fell down in front of you to make you think that I pushed her. Zhao Yun'er, what are you thinking? Xiao Hong felt like she was going crazy. How could she be so pitiful to be targeted by Zhao Yun'er? And Zhao Yun really wasn't as soft and easy to bully as she thought. Enough, Lu Lei said coldly. Xiao Hong, I know better than you what kind of person Yun'er is. I hope you won't hurt Yun'er again. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you. Facing Lu Lei's coldness, Xiao Hong knew that Lu Lei didn't want to believe her at all. His heart was completely on Zhao Yun'er's side. Xiao Hong wasn't such a stupid woman. She knew that the more she didn't admit it, the more people would say that Zhao Yun'er framed her. Then, the more Lu Lei would side with Zhao Yun'er, the more he would hate her. So now, she could only retreat in order to advance. She didn't want to fall out with Lu Lei. Zhao Yun'er, Xiao Hong glared at Zhao Yun angrily. She gritted her teeth and then said to Lu Lei, Big Brother Lu, I'm sorry. I was too agitated. Maybe I accidentally pushed Sister Yun. I really didn't mean to hurt her. Sister Yun is so nice. Why would I push her? Xiao Hong instantly became a pitiful white lotus again. Zhao Yun looked at Xiao Hong a few more times. It seemed that this woman was quite smart. She didn't force it. Knowing that Lu Lei didn't believe her, she softened and said that. Sure enough, Lu Lei's tightly furrowed brows relaxed a little. Lu Lei's emotions were quickly captured by Xiao Hong. Thinking that this method was feasible, Xiao Hong continued, Sister Yun I really accidentally touched you. Can you forgive me? I'll be careful in the future. Lu Lei still somewhat believed that Xiao Hong really pushed her, but Xiao Hong's attitude made him feel that it was okay. Apologizing after bullying someone meant that he at least knew that he was in the wrong. Zhao Yun smiled coldly and said to Xiao Hong, Little sister Xiao Hong must be joking. How could I blame you? After all, you were careless. Just be more careful in the future. There was a warning in Zhao Yun's words. If Xiao Hong dared to provoke her again, her acting skills wouldn't be any worse than hers. If worst came to worst, she would accompany her to the end. She didn't believe that she couldn't win against a white lotus. Xiao Hong pursed her lips. Thank you, Sister Yun. I'll be careful next time. Xiao Hong looked at Lu Lei again. Seeing that Lu Lei's face was still cold, she sighed. She didn't know how Lu Lei would treat her in the future. She only hoped that this time, she wouldn't leave a bad impression in Lu Lei's heart. As for Zhao Yun, if she had the chance, she would definitely take revenge. Big brother Lu, big sister Yun, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave, Xiao Hong said. Zhao Yun pretended not to hear and ignored Xiao Hong. Lu Lei responded indifferently. His attitude was also very cold. Seeing that Xiao Hong had left, Lu Lei asked with concern, Yun, how are you? Are your injuries serious? It's all my fault. If it weren't for me, Xiao Hong wouldn't have targeted you. Zhao Yun shook her head. It's okay, Brother Lei. I just fell. I'm not injured. All right, why did you come here? Chapter 248. Of course, this was only one of the reasons. Another reason was that she wanted to come over and see Zhao Yun. She would only feel comfortable if she could see Zhao Yun from time to time. I don't need any help here, Zhao Yun said. What she said was the truth, and she didn't want to have too much to do with Lu Lei. There was a trace of disappointment in Lu Lei's eyes. No, Brother Lu, aren't you busy these days? What's there to be busy about? There aren't many fields at home, so I finished them in a short while. I went to the mountains a few more times these days, but my luck wasn't very good. I didn't bring anything back. It's okay, Brother Lei. Take it slow. It will be fine. Yes. Lu Lei nodded heavily. Only when he saved enough money would he have more ability to stand in front of Zhao Yun. Now that he didn't have the ability, he couldn't say a lot of things and couldn't guarantee it. The smell of cooked rice floated in the house. Zhao Yun thought that it was time to eat, but she didn't want to keep Lu Lei. It was even more embarrassing to drive him away. She looked at Lu Lei awkwardly and said to him, Brother Lei, we have to eat? Do you want to stay and eat? Zhao Yun was just being polite. Lu Lei waved his hand. No, I'll go back and heat up the dishes myself. Yun, you guys eat. She wanted to eat, so he couldn't continue to stay. He had to leave. Looking at Lu Lei's back, Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. She turned around and prepared to go into the house to move the table out. In the house, Mu Yinfeng retracted his gaze from the crack of the door and quickly lay down on the bed. Naturally, he saw the series of things that Zhao Yun did just now. Mu Yinfeng's mouth held a smile. He was more and more interested in Zhao Yun. It seemed that Zhao Yun was still a little different from what he knew. This woman was very interesting. She would occasionally play tricks, but in his eyes, he felt that she was abnormally cute. Sometimes it was good for women to be like this. He had seen too many innocent and harmless flowers that needed to be protected. He admired Zhao Yun even more. At least others wouldn't bully her too much. As soon as Zhao Yun entered the room, she saw Mu Yinfeng lying on the bed thoughtfully. She hurriedly moved the table out and ate in the courtyard later. Even if it was Chun Erwa, Zhao Yun still didn't want Mu Yinfeng to be seen by others. After moving the table out, Zhao Yuner called the children to start eating. When the dishes were served, Chen Erwa's eyes were glued to them. How could there be such good dishes? He had never eaten anything like this before. Come on, hurry up and eat. It won't taste good when it's cold, Zhao Yuner said. The three children leaned over the table and didn't feel too restrained. At first, Chen Erwa was embarrassed. But seeing Daodu and Zhao Tianfu eating happily, he slowly let go and began to eat. The pheasant was even more delicious with mushrooms. Whether it was meat or mushrooms, it was so delicious that they wanted to swallow their tongues. Zhao Yuner let the children eat first. She scooped a bowl of rice, picked up some food, and brought it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng continued to lie on the bed to rest. After Zhao Yuner came in, she immediately closed the door. Gongzi Mu, it's time to eat. Zhao Yuner's clear voice sounded. Chapter 249. At this moment, only Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng were left in a room, and the atmosphere became ambiguous again. Zhao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng still needed some time to recover from the injury on his hand, so she personally fed Mu Lianfeng. When Mu Lianfeng was in the Shitzi estate, he didn't eat a lot of game. Moreover, the game prepared by the Shitzi estate's chef wasn't even half as good as Zhao Yuner's. This meal, Mu Lianfeng enjoyed it very much, and he only said that he was full after eating 2 big plates. After feeding Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yuner was about to go eat by herself, when Mu Lianfeng suddenly called out to Zhao Yuner, "Miss Yuner, what's wrong? Miss Yuner, were you and Daodu often bullied in the village?" Mu Lianfeng suddenly asked. Zhao Yuner felt that Mu Lianfeng's question was a little strange. After all, she didn't understand why he would ask such a question. "It's all right," Zhao Yuner's mouth twitched. Zhao Yuner was pitiful in the past, but she wasn't. After she replaced the original owner, she wasn't as easy to bully as before. Did Daodu's father really pass away, or did he leave? Why isn't he by your side? Daodu said that he hasn't seen him since he was young. Mu Lianfeng remembered that Zhao Yuner had said that Daodu's father had passed away, but after observing for a while and hearing Daodu's words, he more or less understood. Daodu's father probably wasn't really dead, and this irresponsible man got Zhao Yuner pregnant and then abandoned her. He didn't even care about his own son. He really looked down on this kind of man. "Why are you asking this, young Master Mu?" Zhao Yuner replied. Zhao Yuner's emotions could not be heard from her tone. I'm just asking." Mu Lianfeng pursed his lips and looked at Zhao Yuner with a trace of heartache. It was only when he truly lived with Zhao Yuner that he understood how difficult it was for Zhao Yuner to raise a child alone. Not to mention the living conditions, this weirdo would come knocking on his door every 2 to 3 days. It was really tiring. In the end, Zhao Yuner was still a woman. Without a man by her side, others would think that she was easy to bully. If she had a man by her side to protect her, she wouldn't have to suffer so much. Zhao Yuner was silent for a moment. Then a bitter smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. "You may not believe it, but it's true. I don't know who Daodu's father is either." Mu Lianfeng was surprised for a moment. He knew that there must be something going on here. Zhao Yuner didn't say anything, so he couldn't ask in detail. "Then, Miss Yuner, have you ever thought of remarrying? If you remarry, Daodu will really have a father, and you and your son will have a guarantee for your lives," Mu Lianfeng continued. Zhao Yuner felt that Mu Lianfeng's question was getting stranger and stranger. What did he mean by this? "Young Master Mu, what kind of man do you think I can find with my conditions? If I marry a worse man, wouldn't my life be ruined? I think it's pretty good now. With Daodu, as long as I work hard in the future, my life will definitely get better and better. Don't you think so, young Master Mu?" Zhao Yuner said this to show her strength. Chapter 250. Mu Lianfeng also smiled at Zhao Yuner and nodded, agreeing with Zhao Yuner's words. He really wanted to tell Zhao Yuner that he was actually willing to marry her and take good care of them. He didn't say this sentence because he wasn't sure. After all, he didn't have complete control over his marriage. If he agreed early and couldn't fulfill in the end, He was afraid that Zhao Yun would be disappointed. The next day, Zhao Yun went to Yang City to deliver bullfrogs. This time, the quantity was even smaller. Yesterday, she brought Zhao Tianfu and Daodu up the mountain, so the two children didn't catch many bullfrogs. It was probably less than 5 kilograms. She didn't know if Sun Zhongquan would say anything if she sent it. But today, she sent less bullfrogs. Tomorrow, she should be able to send more over. Aunt Lu had already arranged for her son to go to a few nearby villages to give instructions. Today, they would go to purchase them. In total, there should be a lot of bullfrogs. What surprised Zhao Yun was that when she went to Yang City today, Qin Hailan came again. It was really a little abnormal for her to enter the city for 2 consecutive days. This time, Qin Hailan also carried a basket on her back. There seemed to be something in it. It was covered with a piece of cloth, so Zhao Yun couldn't see anything. There was a sense of uneasiness in her heart. She felt that Qin Hailan came to Yang City for her. Zhao Yun couldn't find any evidence, and it wasn't convenient for her to question. She stared at Qin Hailan's basket for a while. Qin Hailan glared at Zhao Yun unhappily. "What are you staring at my basket for?" Qin Hailan's tone was tough, but a trace of guilt flashed in her eyes. "Can I look around? Did he steal it from you or rob it from you?" Zhao Yun also replied unhappily. "Zhao Yun, don't be stubborn." Qin Hailan huffed. "I'm too lazy to argue with you." Zhao Yun rolled her eyes at Qin Hailan and looked away. When they reached Yang City, Zhao Yun got off the ox cart and went straight to the restaurant. He gave bullfrog to Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan looked at the thing Zhao Yun sent over and couldn't help but sigh. "Miss Yun, the bullfrogs are selling better and better, but you're sending less and less bullfrogs. This is really making things difficult for me." They ordered so much every day. Even if they didn't ask Zhao Yun to send more, they couldn't possibly send less. "Shopkeeper, I'm sorry. I didn't deliver enough today. I'll definitely be able to send more tomorrow." Zhao Yun said somewhat apologetically. She could understand Sun Zhongquan's difficulties. If she could send more, she would definitely want to send more. After all, the more she gave, the more money she could earn. This thing was priced by weight. She wasn't so stupid that she didn't know how to earn money. Sun Zhongquan didn't know if Zhao Yun was telling the truth or just comforting words. He could only sigh and shake his head. "All right then. Miss Yun, I hope you can send more." Sun Zhongquan gave Zhao Yun the money, and Zhao Yun left the restaurant. Not long after Zhao Yun left, Qin Hailan strolled to the front of the restaurant. She wanted to go in, but was stopped by the restaurant's waiter. Qin Hailan was dressed in rags. It was obvious that she was someone who couldn't afford to spend money in the restaurant. The waiter wouldn't casually let people in such a high-class restaurant. Qin Hailan naturally didn't think of this situation, but she had an idea. She said to the waiter, "Little brother, Zhao Yun asked me to come. Do you know Zhao Yun?" Chapter 251. As waiters of the restaurant, they all understood how the business of the restaurant became so popular. If it weren't for Zhao Yun sending bullfrog over as the main dish of their restaurant, how could the business suddenly become so popular? "Little brother, Zhao Yun asked me to come over." Qin Hailan smiled embarrassedly. The restaurant waiter looked at Qin Hailan suspiciously and replied, "Yun just left. How could she ask you to come over? If you came over, shouldn't the two of you be together?" "This, little brother, wasn't I delayed by something? I have something to send over. Your shopkeeper will know when he sees it." The restaurant waiter didn't think too much. Anyway, it was fine to let this woman see the shopkeeper. So he said faintly, "Then come in. Follow behind me. Don't run around." "Got it." Qin Hailan followed the restaurant waiter and entered the restaurant. She had been staying in the countryside, so she didn't know much. It was the first time she came to such a luxurious place. She couldn't help but sigh. The rich people in this city were so good. They could even come to such a good place to eat. Naturally, this place was so luxurious. Zhao Yun came here. She probably made a lot of money here. But it didn't matter. When she did this business, there would be an endless amount of money waiting for her to earn in the future. The restaurant waiter brought Qin Hailan to see Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan glanced at the woman who didn't have any special features and asked faintly, "What are you here for?" "Shopkeeper, I want to do business with you," Qin Hailan said with a smile. Her smile seemed to be trying to curry favor with the shopkeeper. Sun Zhongquan didn't drive her away immediately this time. Instead, he listened to what Qin Hailan wanted to do. "Say it. Shopkeeper, I want to sell you something. It's the same as what Zhao Yun is sent over," Qin Hailan said, and quickly took out the thing in the basket. Then she put it in front of Sun Zhongquan. "Shopkeeper, this thing is called bullfrog, right? Take a look. Is it the same as what Zhao Yun is sent over?" Sun Zhongquan glanced at it. It really was a bullfrog that had been peeled. It was the same one that Zhao Yun had sent over. Sun Zhongquan's heart was filled with joy. His restaurant lacked such things, so the more people gave him, the better. How could he not accept it? Sun Zhongquan suppressed the excitement in his heart and calmly talked business with Qin Hailan, showing that he didn't want to buy it. "This sister-in-law, your gift is indeed the same as Miss Yunner's gift. However, I have signed a contract with Miss Yunner beforehand. I will only accept gifts from her." Qin Hailan understood what Sun Zhongquan meant. It wasn't easy for her to come across a chance to make money. How could she let go? Thus, she began to torment Sun Zhongquan. "Shopkeeper, you see, although you've signed the document, you've accepted my things. If you don't say anything and I don't say anything, Zhao Yun won't know. So, how much did Zhao Yun give her? Just give me half of it." Qin Hailan lowered the price very much. She really didn't know the price that Sun Zhongquan gave to Zhao Yun. Sun Zhongquan listened and pondered for a moment. Lowering the price by half would save him a lot of costs. In addition, the amount that Zhao Yun sent over was not enough. All in all, he made a profit. Chapter 252. Qin Hailan was overjoyed and kept saying, "Manager, thank you. You're really a good man." Sun Zhongquan curled his lips and smiled meaningfully. This was because other restaurants didn't know the practice of bullfrogs. If Qin Hailan sent it to other restaurants would probably pay a higher price if they knew it was bullfrogs. Sun Zhongquan thought for a moment and said to Qin Hailan, "If you have any goods in the future, just send it to me. Don't go to other restaurants to ask. No one will buy it except me." Qin Hailan also thought carefully and believed Sun Zhongquan's words. This was not a good thing. There were a lot of bullfrogs in the countryside. If they could be sold everywhere, wouldn't they have been snatched up long ago? She guessed that every family in the village had gone to catch them. "Got it, manager. I'll definitely send it to you as soon as I have it," Qin Hailan said with a smile. Well, come with me. Let's settle the bill," Sun Zhongquan said. "Okay." Qin Hailan excitedly followed Sun Zhongquan's steps. Qin Hailan had a total of 12 caddies of bullfrogs left, so Sun Zhongquan settled the bill for 120 coins. When Sun Zhongquan handed the money to Qin Hailan was suddenly stunned. She counted and found that there were 120 coins in total. That was to say, the price of bullfrogs was still 20 coins per caddy. She had discounted half of the price, so there were 10 coins. She didn't expect that this thing, which no one in the countryside wanted, would be so expensive. It was unbelievable. It seemed that during this period, Zhao Yun, that little bitch, had made a lot of money by selling bullfrogs. Fortunately, she was smart enough to dig out what Zhao Yun had done from little Sheba of her family. Although the price given to her by the restaurant was not as high as the price given to Zhao, she could still make a lot of money. She would catch more bullfrogs later. With a few hundred coins in her account every day, she could make several taels of silver in a few months. How could there be such a way to earn money in the countryside? Working hard in the fields all year round. In the end, the harvest would probably not even amount to a few taels of silver. Qin Hailan happily accepted the money Sun Zhongquan handed over. She stuffed it into her pocket and left the restaurant. After getting so much money at once, Qin Hailan didn't want to treat herself unfairly. She hurried to the market and bought more things. Zhao Yun came out of the restaurant and went to the shops on the street. She looked around to see if there was anyone selling quilts. The blankets in the house were already very thin to begin with. She and Dao Du couldn't even cover themselves with them. Mu Yinfeng was sleeping with them, so the blankets were even thinner. It was too cold at night, so she couldn't help but lean closer to Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun'er was afraid that if she slept soundly tonight and woke up in Mu Lianfeng's arms the next day, it would be awkward. In ancient times, quilts were made of cotton balls. Generally, people who grew their own cotton at home could send their cotton to be processed and made into quilts for a processing fee. There were also ready-made quilts that were bought directly. Fortunately, the business in Yang City was prosperous and there were all kinds of things. Quilts were also easy to buy. However, quilts were not sold in the new street, but in some shops in remote locations. Zhao Yun'er searched for a long time before she found it. After entering the shop, she found that the business was very quiet and few people came. Chapter 253. Those who wanted to buy a quilt now were probably like Zhao Yun'er. Their families were in a hurry to use it. Also, on normal days, when a family held a wedding, the slightly wealthier families would buy a few new quilts for their daughter's dowry. Apart from winter, this was how the business of the quilt shop came about. After Zhao Yun entered the house, an old lady in her 50s or 60s came over. She went up to Zhao Yun'er with a smile and asked if she wanted to buy a quilt. "Granny, what's the price of your quilt?" Zhao Yun'er asked. The old lady chuckled and said, "Little girl, there are a total of 3 quilt shops in Yang City. Don't worry, my shop is the cheapest. If you don't believe me, you can go to the other 2 shops and ask for the price." As the old lady spoke, she brought Zhao Yun'er to look at her quilt. She pointed at the quilt and said to Zhao Yun, "This quilt is new. It's made from the cotton that was just harvested this year. It's warm. It's 22 copper coins per caddy. This one is made from last year's cotton. It's 20 copper coins per caddy. Miss, take a look. Do you want to buy this year's new quilt or last year's?" Zhao Yun stared at the quilt for a while. The quilt was made at a different time, but they were all new. The white quilt was obviously very warm. When Zhao Yun heard the old lady's words, she felt that she was doing business with integrity. After all, if she didn't say it out loud, who knew if it was made this year or last year? A caddy of quilt cost so much. There were both thick and thin quilts here. There were 5 caddies, 7 caddies, and 10 caddies. Zhao Yun planned to buy 3 quilts to bring back. 1 for the bottom, 1 for the top, and 1 for the top. Then, she would buy a thin one. When the weather became warmer, she could change out the thick quilt and cover the thin one. 7 caddies of quilts would be enough. 1 for the thick and 1 for the thin ones, which added up to a total of 22 caddies. "Granny, give me this year's new quilt. I want this, and this." Zhao Yun pointed at the quilt. The old lady smiled and said, Okay. I'll get it for you." The old lady folded the 3 quilts neatly and tied them together with a thick rope. "Miss, this is good. Can you carry it?" The old lady looked at Zhao Yun'er's thin and small body. She didn't look like someone who could carry things, so she asked with some concern. Zhao Yun'er lifted it a little. 22 kilograms was not too heavy for her. She could carry it with one hand. "I can carry it. Grandma, you don't have to worry about me." The old lady nodded. "That's good. Then, young lady, please settle the bill. This new quilt costs 22 copper coins per caddy. That's a total of 22 caddies, so it's 484 copper coins. Young lady, since you've bought 3 beds at once, I'll charge you 460 copper coins." It was a discount of 24 copper coins. This could be considered a great discount. Just as Zhao Yun'er was about to say thank you, a woman rushed out from the inner room and scolded the old lady. "You damned old lady. I just went to the courtyard to take a dump. I'll let you take a look. Is this how you do business? All of a sudden, we're short of 24 copper coins. How can we continue to run this shop? Do you really think that money comes from nowhere?" The woman scolded a bunch of unpleasant words. The old lady stood in the corner and didn't dare to speak. She was trembling with fear. Chapter 254. The woman's face was sallow and full of pockmarks. She looked disgusting. Plus, when she scolded her, her saliva flew everywhere. Zhao Yun had only seen such a person in novels. She didn't expect such a person to exist in real life. Zhao Yun looked at the old lady sympathetically. Everyone had to be filial. It was a little sad to meet an unfilial wife. Looking at the old lady's reaction, she was probably used to being bullied by this woman. After the woman scolded her, she heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the old lady didn't talk back. Otherwise, she would definitely scold her again. Zhao Yun stopped looking at her sympathetically and said to the woman indifferently, "Are you still selling this quilt or not?" The woman glanced at Zhao Yun and said, "I'm selling it, but it's still 484 copper coins. I can't give you such a huge discount." It was obvious that this woman was greedy, since the old lady was willing to give her a discount of 24 copper coins. That was on the basis that she could make money. Seeing that Zhao Yun didn't say anything, the woman said again, "In Yang City, there's no one selling it cheaper than us. If you don't want to buy it, forget it." The woman's arrogant attitude made Zhao Yun a little unhappy. What kind of person was this? How could business be like this? No wonder the shop's quilt was cheap, but not many people came. There must be a reason. The old lady couldn't help but say, "Kai Feng, the price we agreed on has changed just like that. That's not very good, is it? We have to be honest when doing business. Why don't we waive the 24 copper coins for this lady?" "You old hag, you still have the cheek to say that. You said the money, not me. When did I agree to waive the 24 copper coins? You blindly raised the price without my consent. When the family runs out of money, go out and earn it." The woman called Kai Feng by the old lady started scolding again. The old lady didn't say anything, but she looked at Zhao Yun apologetically. After all, he felt sorry for Zhao Yun for not honoring the agreed price. However, it was only 24 copper coins. Zhao Yun really didn't care about that much. If the old lady was scolded for such a small amount of money, Zhao Yun would feel bad in her heart. Thus, he said to Kai Feng, "That's enough. I didn't say that I wouldn't give it to you." As Zhao Yun spoke, she took out 16 copper coins from the string of money and threw the rest to Kai Feng. Kai Feng counted carefully and said to Zhao Yun, "The money is right. You can take the things." Zhao Yun carried the quilt over her shoulder. Before she left, she snorted at Kai Feng and said, "Auntie, this is the first time I've seen you do business like this. No wonder you sell things at a low price and your business is not good. Ordinary people are not willing to come here. Also, being filial to your elders is something that even children understand. You're so old, yet you don't do it. How interesting. However, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you have a son. Now that you treat me like this, your son and daughter-in-law will definitely learn from you in the future. When that time comes, you'll end up in the same miserable state." "Sigh, I say, little girl, you're quite a busybody, aren't you? Don't you know how to talk?" Kai Feng said as she rolled up her sleeves, wanting to teach Zhao Yun a lesson. The old lady pulled Kai Feng back immediately. "Kai Feng, don't be impulsive." Chapter 255. She hoped that she would not encounter such things in the future. Otherwise, she would probably want to meddle in it again. Zhao Yun went to the market to buy some meat and vegetables. The vegetables at home had not grown yet. She could not keep eating other people's vegetables. The cheapest vegetable she bought in Yang City only cost 1 copper coin. It was still very cost-effective. After buying the vegetables, Zhao Yun was ready to go back. Suddenly, there was a crowd in front of her. Zhao Yun saw that it was still early, so she went over with the mentality of watching a show. Squeezing into the crowd, she saw a man in his 20s flirting with a girl. The girl was only in her teens. She looked very delicate and pretty. Beside the girl was an old man. He looked very sick. There were a few attendants behind the man. Judging from his clothes, he should be relatively rich, but his appearance was really a little indescribable. He had a face full of pockmarks. His eyes were so small that they could not be seen. He also had a mouth full of buck teeth. His body was thin and short. At first glance, he looked very ugly. Zhao Yun asked the people who were watching the show at the side. She asked what happened. "Sigh, I heard that this old man lost money in gambling. Then, he owed this young master 50 taels of silver. Now that he can't change the money, the other party wants to capture the old man's daughter and use her to repay the debt." Zhao Yun nodded. The legal system in ancient times was not as perfect as the current one. Generally, when one owed money, it was very normal to use the family's children to repay the debt. So it was best not to get involved in gambling. Otherwise, it was very likely that the family would be ruined. This old man looked pitiful, but also hateful. If it were not for his actions back then, his daughter would not be like this. The man's subordinates lifted the girl up and looked like they were going to drag her away. The girl cried like an apricot flower in the rain. She looked very pitiful as she shouted at the old man on the ground. "Father, father, save me." The old man was so anxious that he began to cry. He said to the man, "Young Master Meng, when did I owe you 50 taels of silver?" This old man has never gambled for so many years. "I've never gambled. I just wanted to live a good life with my little phone, But this young Master Meng took a fancy to my little phone, and wanted to buy her as a concubine. I didn't agree. After all, I only have one daughter. No matter what, I can't let her suffer such grievances in the future. That's why Lord Meng framed me for losing 50 taels of silver in his bank." Saying that, the old man sobbed. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes and continued, "Everyone, please help me. I don't want my daughter to be ruined like this." After the old man finished speaking, the crowd began to discuss. Some people who knew the old man said, "Uncle Chun is a very honest man. I've never seen him gamble before. It seems that this matter is really strange. Does that mean that young Master Meng used this as an excuse to steal Uncle Chen's daughter, right? Uncle Chun is so pitiful. Why don't we help him?" Chapter 256. That's true. If we offend young Master Meng, we won't be able to survive in Yang City anymore. Many people sympathized with Uncle Chun, but facing young Master Meng, they were afraid of causing trouble for themselves, so they didn't go forward. Young Master Meng's subordinate walked up to Uncle Chun and grabbed him by the collar. "You old bastard, what nonsense are you talking about? Our young master said that you owe 50 taels of silver, so you owe 50 taels of silver." Uncle Chen's thin and weak body couldn't compare to those trained subordinates. Zhao Yun was instantly enraged. Damn it, this was robbing a woman on the street. Originally, she was afraid of causing trouble and didn't want to interfere, but she couldn't control her impulse. She was a police officer and had been a police officer for many years. Some habits weren't easy to change. In her eyes, this was no different from the trouble in the 21st century. If she didn't stop it, she was afraid that someone would die. Zhao Yun stood up and grabbed Meng Gongzi's subordinate's hand. With a backhand pull, she threw him away. She threw him away and saved Uncle Chun. Zhao Yun pulled Chunbo down. With her skills, she thought about it. Meng Gongzi's men didn't seem to be easy to deal with. If several people beat her, she estimated that she wouldn't be able to hold on. Young Master Meng's attention was attracted by the person who suddenly appeared. He saw Zhao Yun's skills just now. It was rare for a woman to be so powerful. Moreover, her movements were exceptionally cool. When he looked at Zhao Yun's face, she was also a delicate and pretty girl. She looked even prettier than Uncle Chen's daughter. Young Master Meng touched his chin and was instantly interested in Zhao Yun. Originally, a few subordinates wanted to go forward and grab Zhao Yun, but they were stopped by young Master Meng. "Don't do anything. Stand there obediently. This young master hasn't said anything yet. If you scare the little girl, you'll suffer." Young Master Meng scolded his subordinates. "Yes, master." After reprimanding his subordinates, young Master Meng smiled at Zhao Yun and asked, "Young lady, what are you doing here?" Contrary to Zhao Yun's expectations, this young Master Meng was actually very polite to her. Frowning, Zhao Yun said coldly, "Of course I couldn't stand it anymore. That's why I came over to ask. Why are you bullying people like this? Do you think you can steal someone else's daughter just because you're rich and powerful?" "Young lady, what you're saying is wrong. What do you mean that I'm relying on my wealth and power to snatch someone else's daughter? That's because this old man owes me 50 taels of silver. Now that he doesn't have the money to pay it back, isn't it right to compensate for his daughter?" Young Master Meng raised his eyebrows and patiently explained to Zhao Yun. You said that he owes you 50 taels of silver. So he owes you 50 taels of silver? Everything requires evidence. If you can take out the documents in front of everyone, you can naturally take this person away. Zhao Yuner said. Young Master Meng smiled. His smile was somewhat despicable. He carefully looked at Zhao Yuner. So many people didn't stand up for him, but this woman did. Her words were clear and organized. She was really an interesting person. Chapter 257. Go back with him to take a look? Zhao Yun was not stupid. How could she be willing to do that? If she really went, who knew what kind of danger would be waiting for her? Why aren't you saying anything? Are you unwilling? I've shown you the evidence, but you don't even want to look at it. What else can I say? Young Master Ming, you have money and power. You can make a dead person alive. What else can I say? However, please be magnanimous and let go of the innocent girl. You're so rich. What kind of girl can't you buy with money? You don't have to hold on to her and not let her go, right? Zhao Yun could only persuade from another angle. She knew in her heart that if he really needed evidence, this young Master Ming could also forge one. Young Master Ming was originally interested in Uncle Chen's daughter. Now that he saw Uncle Chen's daughter crying, his interest immediately disappeared. There were many such women in his family. If he took them back, he would probably be annoyed in the end. On the contrary, Zhao Yun was very interesting. If he married her as a concubine, it should be something special. Young Master Ming smiled and said to Zhao Yun, since you said so, then we'll do as you say. As young Master Ming spoke, he called his subordinates to release Feng, who was trapped. Zhao Yun was slightly surprised for a moment. She felt strange in her heart. This man was so easy to talk to. A sense of conspiracy emerged in Zhao Yun's heart. Feng jumped in front of Uncle Chen and began to cry in Uncle Chen's arms. Father, Feng, don't be afraid. Father is here. Uncle Chen patted Feng's back. Young Master Ming came in front of Zhao Yun and said with a smile, Young Master, are you satisfied with this? Zhao Yun looked at young Master Ming suspiciously and said faintly, You won't go back and continue to make trouble for them, right? Young Master, this young master will definitely not go back on his words. If I let her go, I'll let her go. How will I have the time to go again in the future? Zhao Yun looked at young Master Ming's expression and felt that he wasn't lying. However, what Zhao Yun could not understand was why things had changed so quickly. She had come all the way here to snatch him away, and all she did was say a few words, and he was going to let him go? Thank you, young Master Ming. Uncle Chen took Feng's hand and thanked young Master Ming. Now that he had said that he would let them go, it would be too late if they didn't leave now. Thinking about it, they couldn't stay in Sun City any longer. This time, they would pack up and leave. Even if young Master Ming wanted to snatch her away, he wouldn't be able to find them. After the father and daughter left, Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. Now, she was sure that there was no problem. Zhao Yun also intended to leave, but was stopped by young Master Ming. Zhao Yun frowned warily and asked, What do you want? Little girl, I've done as you said and let him go. Can't we have a little chat? Zhao Yun retorted in annoyance. Talk about what? What do we have to talk about? Zhao Yun's cold and slightly arrogant personality made young Master Ming like her even more. His desire to conquer Zhao Yun also grew stronger. Naturally, young Master Ming knew that he couldn't force a woman like Zhao Yun. She was very stubborn. If he forced her, he was afraid that Zhao Yun might even commit suicide. If she died, there wouldn't be any meaning. Chapter 258. Zhao Yun snorted coldly in her heart. He was not a bad person. Would she believe him? Young Master Ming, that's just how I am. Don't treat me like an outsider. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Zhao Yun, turn around. Young Master Ming knew that Zhao Yun was most likely going to ignore him, and he could not stop her. If he wanted to conquer this woman, he would have to take his time. Anyway, he had plenty of time. Miss, before you leave, can you tell me your name? We're not familiar with each other, so it's not convenient for me to tell you. Zhao Yun said arrogantly and turned around. She only heaved a sigh of relief when she was far away. Fortunately, Young Master Ming did not follow her. When she returned to the village, it was close to noon. Zhao Yun realized that Liang Jinxiao had come over. Her heart could not help but tighten. Did Liang Jinxiao enter her house? If he entered the house, wouldn't he see Mu Lianfeng in her house? Zhao Yun braced herself and walked over. Liang Jinxiao and a few other children were sitting on a big rock in the courtyard. Daodu was snuggling in Liang Jinxiao's arms. "Mother, why are you here?" Zhao Yun walked over and asked. "Nothing big. We're having a wedding in 2 days. Your grandfather asked me to come over and inform you. You can attend the wedding then." Zhao Yun was curious. "Mother, is there a wedding in our old Zhao family? They're having a wedding?" Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, "It's your eldest cousin brother, Zhao Tianlong. Now that he was married, what other joyous occasion was there to celebrate?" Liang Jinxiao then explained, "Your eldest cousin brother has fought for our old Zhao family this time. He was selected by the academy and will be sent to the capital to further his studies in half a month. I have an 80% chance of becoming a high scholar in this year's imperial examinations." The study that Liang Jinxiao mentioned was a policy of Yangshan County. In order to nurture talents, Yangshan County would hold an advanced study every year. A few talents would be selected from all the academies in Yangshan County and sent to the capital. They would find the best teachers there and undergo a few months of intensive training before the examination. Normally, there would be a limited number of places in the academies. Most academies might not even be able to accommodate one person. However, once selected and trained in the capital, the chances of becoming a high scholar would be greatly increased. Many people in Sun City had passed the imperial examination and become a high scholar through this round of advanced studies. Then, they rose through the ranks and made a fortune. Who would have thought that Zhao Tianlong would have some ability? Come to think of it, she had never seen Zhao Tianlong with her own eyes after coming to this world for so long. "All right, Mother, I'll go to the wedding banquet." Liang Jinxiao nodded and then asked about Zhao Yun-er's situation. He only relaxed after confirming that Zhao Yun-er's family was doing well. "All right, Yun-er, it's a good thing that your eldest cousin brother is studying. The government will pay for part of the expenses, but you have to pay for it too. You have to prepare at least 20 taels of silver for your eldest cousin brother when the time comes. Now that he has to study for Tianfu, the family is in a mess. So, the farm work at home is almost done. Your father is preparing to go to Sun City with Tian'an to find some odd jobs. Mother, won't it be too tiring?" How old was Zhao Tian'an? He was still a child. How could he do so much work? "It's okay. If he stays at home, the chores at home will be too tiring. Why don't he go to Sun City to work? He can even keep the other families in check." Chapter 259. She also felt that it was good to go out. In old Zhao's house, the third branch had done the most work. Liang Jinxiao relaxed for a while, then got up and left. After Liang Jinxiao walked away, she didn't mention Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. Zhao Yun asked the two children, "Didn't Grandma go into the house?" Daodu raised his little face and said sweetly to Zhao Yun, "Mom, Grandma was going to go in, but Daodu stopped her." Daodu knows that even Grandma can't see Daddy. Daodu was already used to calling Mu Lianfeng Daddy. Zhao Yun touched Daodu's head and nodded. "Daodu is the best. Hee, let's go in." Zhao Yun held the two children's hands and went in. Mu Lianfeng was lying on the bed. As soon as he saw Zhao Yun, there was a smile in his eyes. "Yun, why do I feel like I've been hidden in a house?" Mu Lianfeng's tone was a little flirtatious. Mr. Mu, you're considered a girl, but my shabby house is not a house. Your analogy is a little inappropriate." Seeing Zhao Yun-er's serious tone, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but smile. "Yun, why are you so serious?" "I'm just joking." Zhao Yun found that her thoughts had completely caught up with Mu Lianfeng's rhythm. After lunch and a short rest, Zhao Yun took the two children to catch bullfrogs in the field. She wanted to save more money now. After hearing what Mu Lianfeng said today, she thought of her shabby house and really needed to build a new one. She didn't have the ability to pay dozens of taels of silver now. These days, there were fewer and fewer children helping to catch bullfrogs. Zhao Yun found that these children didn't help her catch bullfrogs, but they caught them themselves. The field was only so big. Zhao Yun still bumped into Qin Hailon. Qin Hailon also took Gooden to catch bullfrogs, and the children directly gave the bullfrogs to Qin Hailon. Looking at the bullfrogs in Qin Hailon's basket, they probably weighed 20 to 30 kilograms. Zhao Yun's brows couldn't help but twist. This was already very obvious. It was most likely that Qin Hailon got the information about her catching bullfrog from Gooden's mouth. But if Qin Hailon got her hands on the bullfrog, where did she sell it to? Seeing Zhao Yun coming over, Qin Hailon still caught the bullfrogs openly without any guilt. "Hey, sister-in-law, what are you catching?" asked Zhao Yun. Qin Hailon glanced at Zhao Yun and snorted. "Don't you know what I'm catching? Why do you ask when you already know the answer?" Zhao Yun curved her lips. "I just don't know how you know how to catch them. Did you learn from me?" Zhao Yun's words made Qin Hailon a little flustered and exasperated. "Learn from you? Why can't I catch bullfrogs when you catch them? Do they belong to your family?" "No, but you know clearly what you've done wrong. Don't think of the same way when you see others making money. It won't be good if something bad happens." "Zhao Yun, are you threatening me?" "No, it's just a reminder. Let's go, Gooden." "You're so crazy. I don't know what you're talking about," Qin Hailon said angrily and pulled Gooden away. "You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.